out, you guys. I have to go work out. So I figured I would take you with me. You see how big I am? I need to go work out. The Stairmaster awaits me. Oh, Lord. Get in here, you guys. Get in, get in. Ah, Lord. I've never done this before. I see people do that on YouTube all the time. Try to keep it safe. But get in here because I got a message this morning. Because I've been really, hopefully you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, there's nobody here yet. Hey, Mark, cuckoo. Can you hear me? I'm driving. I'm driving to the gym because I'm like, if I sit down and make a video, y'all go keep me for hours, and I really have to work out today. I told myself I'm gonna work out from Monday through Friday. I can take off Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, that's awesome. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I guess I'll go live on my way to the gym now. From now on, I'll do that from now on. No, I got a message this morning, right? Because I don't know if you've been paying attention. Sorry, I have to look straight ahead. Okay, but I got a message this morning because somebody was asking me about the whole Carmelo situation because people are making videos, right? Some people are making videos. A lot of idiotic blacks are making videos about the fact that, oh, the GoFundMe money is spent because I listened to, I don't know what's his name, Greg, George, I don't know, the black perspective, whatever he's on to. But anyway, so the guy was saying that Carmelo is due back in court July 18th because he's asking for a public defender, right? So I guess because he's asking for a public defender, people automatically want to assume that, oh, they spent all the money is gone, and it could be gone. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not involved with the money, right? And I'm like, okay, and like seriously, okay, and if the money's gone in, so what? And so what? Let's say they spend like his parents or the people, whoever is responsible for the GoFundMe. Hey, Kevin, let's say the money is spent, the $600,000 spent. Okay, and then what? Is that a reason for the boy to rot in prison? Is that why he should serve life in prison? I am so confused. Like, I am truly confused. I am really, really confused. Like, this obsession with money is so bizarre to me. Like, Daniel Penny, he raised like $2, $3 million, right? I don't think his legal fees costed $2, $3 million, right? Did the white people who donate to Daniel Penny, hey, Kevin, the white people who donated to what's his name, Daniel Penny, did the people ask for an account ledger to know where the money was spent? Sorry, guys, I had to like do both, right? But I'm like, first and foremost, this is how I feel. Me personally, I feel like since this story came out, there has been so much effort by racist white people to portray Carmelo in a certain light because they just don't like the fact that a white boy died and a black boy is walking like he's alive, right? So we saw the very moment that the GoFundMe was brought up, right? Right? Like the I mean, the very moment that the GoFundMe thing was brought up, they started making all kinds of videos. White people started making all kinds of videos. Oh, they took the money to go on vacation. They took the money to move. They took the money to move in a $900,000 house in a gated community. They took the money to buy themselves a Cadillac Escalade, one through one point. What is it that white people didn't say? And then you had idiots like Officer Tatum repeating that stuff, right? Because he's so hateful and he hates himself, right? You had George, Greg, whatever his name is of the black perspective, repeating the same information. Oh, yeah, they stole the money. They stole the GoFundMe to go buy a house, to go move in a gated community, to have private security, to go buy an Escalade the whole time. For those of us who did our research on Carmelo and his family, well, okay, that looks like the same house, right? Everything Officer Tatum showed about those so-called new house, it is their house because we have pictures of them in front of that house before. We have there are plenty of pictures of Carmelo in front of that house before. Nobody moved. The Cadillac Escalade, they said, oh, they went and bought $100,000 Cadillac Escalade. The whole time, that's the family's car. Once again, Carmelo took pictures right in front of that car, right? But because people are so racist and some people will die on the sword of Coonville, right? People didn't even take the time to go and do their own research on Carmelo because it's so much easier to assume the worst about Black people, right? And then eventually, I mean, for me, I already knew it was much of BS because I'm like, yeah, they want to malign this young boy because it's racist white people, right? But even when the mother came out, we all saw the lady take the stage and the way she talked about how her was being lied on, how they said that they took the money for this, they took the money for that. The whole time, they've always lived in that house. I think they lived in the house like right after COVID or something like that, right? It belongs to like they bought it from an Indian woman or something. right? It's like this is ridiculous. Now, hey, Janet, I can't really see, but now here we go again with Carmelo asked for a book defender, so that means the money's gone, all the money is spent. I'm like, how do you people arrive at these conclusions? How do you people arrive at these conclusions? Like, funny, right? And the part that hurts me most is like, I will never stop saying this. Like, sometimes for me, honestly, as a West African immigrant, sometimes I really do wonder if African Americans even like each other. Like, I really do. I truly, truly, I'm like, do these people actually like each other? Right? Like, we know there are some people. When you see some people, you're like, yeah, you give suspicious, okay? Especially like if Carmelo's family was from Florida, okay? Because we know it's a lot of foolishness that goes down in Florida, right? If they were Floridians, I'm like, you know what? I don't know about that part, right? But I'm like, when you saw Carmelo's dad, when you saw Carmelo's mother, what about these two black people? What about these two black Americans give off? Oh yeah, they scam money, they steal money, yeah, no, there's nothing that gives any of that. These people were living in luxury before anybody gave anything. It is so disgusting to me. And one thing I cannot stand is like people act as if because they gave you money or because they bailed you out or they had your back when you were going through it, that somehow you wasn't shit before. You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't shit before. It's like at least, what do you like? I'm like when you see these people, when you see how they were living and they're still living this way before this thing happened with Austin Metcalf and his barbaric ass self and his barbaric ass brother, right? How were these people living? How were they living? Was this family not going on cruises? Was this family not living in luxury? Was this family not living in $1 million house? Was the daddy not driving an Escalade? Was Carmelo did he not get a Lexus for his birthday? Did Carmelo not have two cars, a Lexus and a cherry red Jeep Cherokee, like a Jeep? Like why are we acting like people don't have money because you gave some kind of money? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. To not even give these people a chance to explain to you what they did with the money because you watch black perspective or you watch a few goofy ass bonnet ass demons freaking TikTok, somehow you know exactly what that family did with the money. Is this a fucking joke? It's like it's so sick to me that while you're fighting racist white people, you also got to fight racist ass, goofy ass, clownish ass black people. It is fucking exhausting. It is so fucking exhausting. Sorry, guys, I gotta keep my eye on the road, right? It is so fucking exhausting. This is crazy. This is really crazy. This is really crazy. So what? Even oh my gosh, they raised it to $1 million. Okay, they have the right to raise their GoFundMe if they want to. You don't have to give. You don't have to give. Somebody might want to give. It don't have to be you. But I'm like, to just assume the worst out of people like this, as if they're not already fighting a war with these racist ass white people, right? When Carmelo was taken in, first of all, he was sitting there crying. When the police officer came, he was sitting there crying. And he even confessed, like, yeah, I did it. He even tried to lie about it. And the same day, at the same moment, when the police came, he asked right then and there, could it be considered self defense? It's not even something that he thought of after he was detained, a week after he was detained. He asked that question right then and there, which is what prompted me to be like, okay, why would this young man say he thinks it's self defense? Because maybe from where he's standing, it does feel like self defense. You understand me, right? It's so crazy to me. I'm like, I'm West African. And I'm sitting here. I have more empathy for the African American boy than his own people. And it's so disgusting. It is so disgusting. They grabbed him. He was in tears. He even asked, oh, is Austin going to be okay? Does that sound like somebody who went there for evil? Does that sound like somebody who went there to hurt people? Right? You look at Carmelo, you look at his entire body. There's not a single tattoo on his body. There's nothing about this young man that gives YN. Nothing at all. The boy has a 3.7 GPA. He has two jobs. He works at Foot Locker and he works at the grocery store. Right? He's the captain of his football team and his track team. He has three younger siblings. He is raised middle class. They got some kind of money, right? Like, why are y'all treating this boy like this? It is so disgusting. Like, I live in New Orleans. I live in New Orleans, like the likes of NBA young boy, and you name it. Like, you know a YN when you see a YN. Like, let's be so for real. Let's be so for real. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kevin. I just gotta keep my eye on the road, right? No, it's like I'm really, really upset. Like they grabbed the little boy from the jump. They gave that boy $1 million bail, and nobody wants to talk about how that was unconstitutional and how this young man was like first and foremost had this thing not gone public. Or I think Matt Walsh for this because even though he's a racist, it worked it out for us because I wouldn't have heard of it. But to bring this young boy in there and for his bail to be $1 million, that's even against the Eighth Amendment. It's unconstitutional because bail is just meant for you. It's just guaranteed that you'll show up to court. He is 17. Where is he going to go? His dad works there. His mom works there. She's a stay-at-home mom. He has younger siblings that are enrolled in school. They go to elementary school. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Like seriously, where are they going to go? So why are you putting his bail at $1 million? Meanwhile, like less than 20 miles, there's another white boy who stabbed a Latino boy in the bathroom. He stabbed that boy almost 18 times. I'm like, you don't need to stab somebody 18 times. You can like Carmelo is one stab. For this white boy, it's 18 stab. Right? So when he got in there too, his bail was set at 1 million. They brought his bail down to 175. Carmelo, his bail was lowered to 250,000 instead of people talking about, oh, why such a discrepancy within less than a 20-mile radius? Like, we're talking about two stabbing. Somebody stabbed one time, another person stabbed 18 times. The person who stabbed 18 times, he was out already parole because he's a prior offender. He has abuse before. That white boy had a prior abuse case before, and he was out on bond or he was out on something, and then he stabbed another classmate. And from my understanding, is that him and that classmate had gotten to another fight at a party. And he said, or they said they were going to get each other back. But nonetheless, though, within a 20 to 26-mile radius, one stabs 18 times. He gets initial bail at 1 million. They go for his bail hearing. It comes down to 175. The black boy, he stabbed somebody one time. His initial bail was set at 1 million, but then his bail comes down to 250 million, 250,000. How is that okay? How is that okay? Like seriously, how is that okay? Right? Once again, Carmelo's getting charged with first-degree murder. Instead of people talking about the fucking charge, oh, let's talk about the go. Let's not talk about the fucking GoFundMe because for that you don't know all the details. So we're not going to talk about the GoFundMe. We'll talk about the first-degree murder charge. Why is it first degree? But you see, this is how you realize that the vast majority of people out here, and I'm not me, but I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of black people out here who really go horrible charge. For what reason? For what reason? There is a video. We watched that video like at least 100 times where we see Hunter Metcalf say there was a kid sitting there. We didn't even know the kid. He referred to Carmelo as a kid. Yes, because Carmelo is extremely skinny. He's extremely skinny. Right? He didn't refer to him as a man. He referred to him as a kid because their body sizes is so different. It's so different, right? So if you have Hunter saying we didn't even know who he was because we met him that day, then why is the prosecutor charging Carmelo with first degree murder? Because first degree murder involves premeditation. Somebody I don't know. How can I plan to kill someone I don't know? How does that even make sense? How does that like shit? How does that even make sense to you? Right? This boy he's had his civil rights violated the very moment he was arrested. Even when he told the police officer, "Oh, it's me, I did it." The police officer should have Carmelo, I have not read you your Miranda rights, so you gotta be quiet. Right? Did you read him his Miranda rights before he even told you that? When he was in the process of saying that to you, did you tell the young man to stop talking? Did you tell him to stop talking? Right? We are watching this young boy having his rights bastardized. We are watching him see his constitutional rights be taken away from him. And instead of talking about that, all these goofy ass black people and their broke asses, all they want to do is talk about some money. They want to do is talk about some money. It is so disgusting to me. So disgusting to me. Me, Marlene, when I first heard about this whole situation, yes, it was jarring because I'm like, how can people over a seat? How can somebody get stabbed over a seat at a track meet? I was really confused. And I really thought we were talking about individualized seats. I didn't even know we were talking about some damn ass bleachers. What the fuck? What the fuck? Right? Oh, they were fighting over a seat. Once again, white people lying per usual. White Americans lying per usual. It was not even about a seat. They just wanted him to leave. So he was not taking anybody's seat. Right? Let's get to the matter of the fact. Does Austin or his brother, do they actually own the school tent? No, they don't. That school tent was paid with taxpayer money from their Houston County district. Whatever they live in Houston, that school district paid for the freaking tent. He didn't pay for that tent. Did they pay for the bleachers? Does the Metcalf family own those bleachers? The answer is no. Okay, you don't own the bleachers. You don't own the tent. Matter of fact, you don't own the goofy ass neck having turtle looking ass. This damn raccoon. Talk about, oh yeah, it's bad news for Carmelo because there's a journalist who saw the video. I'm like, and who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck what this white journalist saw? Who gives a fuck? Right? Then the white journalist comes on, and then the white journalist says, "Oh yeah, the district attorney they played the video for us. They only played it one time. They did not want to rewind the tape." I'm like, why would they not rewind the tape? If the case is so clear, if Carmelo is a bloodthirsty YN who's just out here bringing knives to track me, cleavers to track me, to kill white people, play that shit over and over and over and over. But you don't want to play that video over and over and over again because you don't want people to truly start to see what's going on. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. And then you hear the white man, you hear the white journalist. He's like, yeah, there was about 40 people under that tent. 40 people. So you mean to tell me you got 40 people that went to the same school and they were triggered by one boy from a different school? Get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. Oh, shit. Melt. I come in now. Oh my gosh, God, sorry. When I get mad, my voice, I get really loud, right? Like, sorry, I'm almost here. I'm almost at the gym. Okay, I'm gonna park this damn car. But I gotta get on the Stairmaster though, right? Like it pisses me off to no end. So it wasn't just like, oh, it was just Austin and Hunter and Carmelo. Nah, it's 40 dudes, yo. Like it's 40 people. These white people were 40 in deep. It was a whole fucking mob of 40 white people, man. 40 people? 40 people? There is 40 of y'all. You are threatened by one boy from a different school and a skinny boy at that too? Nah, these fuckers are some bullies. These people are bullies. Oh my gosh. Oh shit. They are fucking bullies. They're a bunch of bullies. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. I made it. Sorry, I couldn't look at y'all. Okay. They're so full of shit. They are so full of shit. He was like, oh yeah. They were like, oh, it looks like there were 40 people on the video. 40 people on the video. I'm like, 40 people? Right? And then the only video, hold on, the only video they have, right, is the one from like across, like it's from across the stadium, from like where they do all the like the commentaries and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, there were 40, over 40 people under that tent that day. Over 40 people under the tent that day, right? But yet nobody recorded anything. Y'all only have one video. You expect me to believe that? You expect me to believe that, right? You expect me to believe that. Like, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. And then he says, oh, yeah, Austin did put his hands on Carmelo. I said, oh, does that sound like assault? Does that sound like battery? Like, this is crazy. I'm like, sometimes I sit here and I really do ask myself, like, people who are born here, people who are from here, isn't English your first language, right? Who are you to put your hands on anybody? For you to put your hands on anybody, right? Why can you get another adult to say, okay, this young man has to move? And it's so funny because was it on what's his name again? Brandon, the black man, Brandon's channel, right? This goofy ass run jar of mayo, this goofy ass white woman was telling me in the comments, oh, it wasn't raining that day. I read the police report. I read the police report. But guess what? The white journalist who saw the video was like, yeah, it was raining. Oh, okay. It was raining, right? It was raining. So if it's raining, why can he sit there? It's raining. Why can he sit there, y'all? Like, why can he not sit there? There is 40 of y'all against one person. What is it that he can actually do to y'all? What is it that he can do to y'all? There is 40 of y'all. There is one of him. What are you scared of? It's not the fact that you're a bunch of racists. You're a bunch of racists. And I'm like, no, you're not going to distract me with this money thing, right? White people steal all the time. People steal all the time. Even I'm like, think about this. Think about this, right? Justin Metcalf, his mom and his dad, they had two GoFundMe's. For what reason? For what reason? One child is dead. Two GoFundMe. Mom got her own GoFundMe. Daddy got his own GoFundMe, right? And if we remember correctly, they got divorced, or she divorced him, right? She divorced the daddy. Hold on. Yeah, no, they're full of shit, right? She divorced him when the boys were 4 years old, right? Remember, 'cause we watched the videos, y'all. Hey, we watched all the videos, right? They got a divorce. She divorced his ass when the boys were 4 years old. And in the video we watched, you even saw Hunter said that Austin had to be the man of the house. Austin was the one taking care of everybody. So, okay, why is Austin taking care of everybody? Because his dad's a deadbeat. So you're not married to the lady. You don't have full custody. The boys don't live with you, but yet you open a GoFundMe. For what reason? For what reason? And we know he opened the GoFundMe before telling her, right? So he got 300,000 and she got 145,000. Are people asking them questions? because he came out here and played the penguin, right? Of the Christian, the forgiving Christian father, one through one point. Like, go sit down somewhere with that. Go sit down somewhere with that. Are people questioning these white people and their motives? Right? Because if you're not the if you don't have full custody or you're not the primary custodian, why are you the one that's opening a GoFundMe? Matter of fact, why are you raising more money than the mother who is raising her kids full time? Right? No, they're not gonna go question these white people, right? Even the blacks will not question these white folks. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Why don't you question these white people? Right? Nobody. Let me tell you something, right? Sorry, you guys, I'm sweating. Nobody is gonna come over here and what's it called and distract me for some foolishness. I will not get distracted. Okay, nobody's gonna come over here and distract me. Austin had a deadbeat ass daddy who's out who ran a GoFundMe and made more money on a dead child than he has ever paid in child support or he has ever invested in his own son. Okay, these demonic ass white people will be exposed, right? But I'm like, for me, the whole money thing. Oh, the Austin, sorry, Carmelo and his GoFundMe. Carmelo asking for what's it called for a public defender. I don't know. Like when I heard, I said, okay, maybe it's a strategy. What do I know? Because they know more than we do. They're in a racist state, and from the moment he was arrested, his constitutional rights were bastardized. So I don't know what they're doing, but I trust what they're doing because when I saw Carmelo, I saw his mother. I saw Carmelo first. Then I saw his mom. Then I saw his dad. Then I saw them when they went to court for the bail hearing. Then I saw them at the press conference. Now Dominique, I'm not a fan of. I could care less about this man. But I'm saying, like, from the mother to the father, there is nothing about these two black people right here where I can feel like, oh my gosh, in my heart, these people have mischief in them. These people got thievery in them. No, it's giving white people. White people are the thieves. White people have mischief in them. White Americans cannot stop lying. White Americans cannot stop being racist. They cannot stop being racist. If I have not heard directly from Carmelo's dad, I'm not going to indict my brother because he hasn't told me, but I will trust him. I will trust him until he had given me a reason not to trust him. When I saw Carmelo's mom, I decided in my spirit that she was my sis and her son was my son. And the way I would fight for Trey, I'm gonna fight the same way for Carmelo. She don't have to check it with me. I trust her until proven otherwise. But I will never wait for people to do their bullshit ass video and start trusting the disgusting line ass lips of these goofy ass white people with the little bit of lip matter they actually have. Oh yeah, because they said so. We don't give a fuck. Because from the very moment this thing went viral, from the very moment this thing hit social media, all white people did was hate on Carmelo based on the color of his skin. We have a constitution, but it's so funny because it's not even funny because if you lived in America long enough, you know that the average white American is low IQ, and that's why they're so quick to be racist, they're so quick to be Islamophobic, they're so quick to be disgusting because they're a bunch of ignorant people. The average white American is ignorant as fuck. They are so ignorant. They are so unread. They are so illiterate. And the mere fact that it's white people who wrote the Constitution, it's the racist ass forefathers who wrote the Constitution. And the mere fact that these white people to this day do not even know what's in the Constitution, it is beyond laughable. But that's how pathetic they are as a people. In the United States Constitution, you are innocent until proven guilty. Right? But as soon as they saw Carmelo's complexion, they made it their business to say, oh, yeah, he's a YN. Oh, he's a product from a broken home. Oh, he's this, he's that. And the whole time, it's Austin and Hunter who are from a broken home, who have a deadbeat father, who have a father who never spent money on them, but is waiting for the son to die to get rich. So, no, we are not doing this. We're going to stay on the charge. The charge is first degree murder. Once again, it's overreach. Once again, it is overreach. Exactly, exactly. Never believe your own laws when the laws don't work in their favor. Like, no, once again, it is overreach. Okay? It's overreach because why is it first degree murder? Why is it first degree murder? You even have Hunter said it on camera. We don't know this kid. We did not know this kid. We wanted the kid to move, right? And he made sure to not say that it was raining because why do you want the kid to move in the rain? And the mere fact that also the Hunter Metcalf made his business to omit the fact that it was raining lets you know he's a fucking bully. He's a fucking bully. And just because his brother died does not mean that his brother was not a bully. Just because his brother is dead, it doesn't mean that his brother was not committing a crime.
Okay? Because what grounds does he have? Who has given Austin Metcalf the legal authority to put his hands on Karmelo? Who has even given Austin Metcalf the legal authority to extract, remove, put his hands on any other student to remove him from a place while it's raining? It's raining. Why does this boy have so much energy in the rain? Why does he have so much energy in the rain? Okay, no, they're very dense, Mark. They are truly dense. They like I try my best every day not to cuss out white people, but it's like they can't. They don't know how to sit still and be cute. They just don't know how to sit still and be cute, right? And it was raining that day. It was raining. So what is your problem? What is your problem? Why can he not sit there? And on top of that, there's 40 of y'all. 40 people? 40 white people? So even as a group of 40 whites, they're still scared of one black person, right? Like they're a bunch of they're so fucking racist. They are so fucking racist. How can 40 people be like how can 40 people be threatened by one person? Right? If it's not the fact that white people don't have manners, they're poorly raised. They are seriously poorly raised. And you have Austin's dad saying, oh, yeah, ever since he was born, ever since his mama pushed him out of the coochie, right? The boy was an athlete. So he never learned to be a good sports. He never learned to have good sportsmanship. He never learned to be hospitable. He never learned to be welcoming. No, of course not. He's a white barbarian. Sons of Thor and Igor. Okay? He's a freaking white barbarian. This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. This is so they always get greedy. What his initial bail amount of $1 million for what reason? Why is it $1 million? Okay, do they even give school shooters $1 million bond? Right? When that white boy went to that black church and he killed the people at that black church, including a state senator, they took the white boy to McDonald's. They took the white boy to McDonald's before they actually brought him down the station. No, I am not going to fall for this. White people are racist. White Americans are by far racist people. And my thing is, I'm even believing that they are, because me, Charlie Kirk, hey, Lacey, Charlie Kirk is so despicable. Charlie Kirk is so fucking despicable. I would not put it past someone like Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA to be out here paying influencers to make disparaging videos about Carmelo, his family, and their character. Because if APAC is currently out here paying influencers to make disparaging videos about Candace Owens, right? They're paying people to make videos about Candace Owens. They are paying people to make disparaging videos about Tucker Carlson. So I'm like, yeah, so you're probably paying too. Because when I look at the people who are talking about Carmelo and talking about this GoFundMe, it's like a bunch of bonnets. They're sitting in their beds, they're wearing bonnets. They got them cheap ass Korean lashes that you buy for $5, okay? These girls is mad overweight. Their tongues is super white. So I know they got digestive issues and a bad gut, okay? But I'm like, it's never anybody intelligent. And when it comes here to YouTube, it's the coons. It's Greg from the Black Perspective. It's Officer Tatum. You know, it's the usual suspects. It's the self-hating blacks who are mad because growing up they didn't build these close ties with black people. Okay, that's all that is. That's really all that is, right? But I'm like, this is really crazy. Yeah, like this is really crazy. This is truly crazy. You have not even heard from the family. You have not even heard from the family. You haven't even heard from his dad. You haven't heard from his mom. But because white people are saying it, because Coons is saying it, and because people like Charlie Kirk are most likely paying these goofy ass black influencers to say these disparaging things about Carmelo, here you are just repeating shit without even questioning it. And that's the part that really triggers me. It's like, why is it that black people at large do not question shit, right? Why is it that black people are such a fertile ground for any kind of ideology, any kind of conspiracy theory, any kind of like, let's slander a person, let's destroy a person, let's destroy someone that looks like us? To me, it is so fucking wild. It is so fucking wild. From the very moment this boy started raising money, it became a problem. The very moment he started raising money, it became a problem because these racist ass white Americans are fully aware that their justice system is rigged. They are fully aware it is rigged. And that's why as soon as you go in there and you have some kind of money, you are more likely to have a better trial. You are more likely to have a fair trial, right? But like, what is it that they haven't said about this family? What is it that they haven't said about this family? And we come to find out it's actually the Metcalfs who live like that, right? Oh, they bought a brand new house. Oh, they moved into a brand new house in the gated community. Oh, they bought a brand new Cadillac. They brought a brand new Escalade. They brought this. They brought that. Shut up, because you didn't do your research. You didn't do your research, and that's what a racist will never do, because a racist thinks every black person is the same. And I'm gonna say this also, right? You don't even have to have white skin to be a racist. Okay, you can be black and be a racist, because if you're black and as soon as you hear anything negative about black people, you're quick to believe it, then you're a racist too. Because how are you different? How, like how exactly are you different? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like how are you different? How exactly are you different? From the very moment that boy raised that money, it's been all kinds of problems. From the very moment that boy raised that money, it's been all kinds of lies, all kinds of smearing these people, saying all kinds of nasty things about these people, right? Come to find out, it's the same house. Nobody moved. Nobody moved into a gated community. Oh, the Cadillac, they been had that car. If you had done your research, you would have seen the pictures. Karmelo took a lot of pictures in front of that car, right? Karmelo has two cars. He has a Lexus and he has a Jeep Cherokee. Like he has a Cherry Jeep Cherokee, right? Like, because you didn't do your research. Because it's not fathomable to any racist, and that's a black skinned person included, right? That a black child in Texas could live in $1 million house. And it's sad. In 2025, it is not possible that a black American family can own a Cadillac Escalade. You would think an Escalade is like it's like having a Urus, or it's like some kind of Lambo. And even that too, you have black people who have Lambos now. Don't get it twisted. We are in 2025. We are in 2025. There is a gamut of black people, especially black Americans, who can afford an Escalade. And it's never that serious, right? But I'm starting to realize that the vast majority of whites in this country probably are poor, because it's very astounding. It's very alarming, right? They all live in mobile homes. Like, they all drive these dirty ass pickup trucks. Like, what is going on? What is going on? There are many black people who live in gated communities. It's nothing. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Okay. Yeah, that they bought private security the whole time is those people with Dominique, is their security, right? But it's like, what is it that they haven't said about Carmelo and his family? What is it that they haven't said? So if you have some kind of intelligence, right? Because I've seen some people, I feel like some people go to school, but they're really smart. Because you can go to school and just memorize shit, but like you don't know how to think. You're not a critical thinker. You know, anybody can go to school and read a book and take classes and just answer questions, right? But not a lot of people, oh, think of it, not a lot of people are critical thinkers. Not a lot of people are critical thinkers. Not a lot of people understand the tools of psychological warfare that white people employ to divide black people. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Well, if you've made a decision that you're gonna stand, hey Diana, you've made a decision after doing your research. Like I'm gonna speak for myself, right? Did not jump on the whole Carmelo Anthony thing. Oh, just because he's black. No, because y'all know me, I wouldn't do that. I'm not a blackety black person, right? But when I heard kids at a track meet, somebody got stabbed over a seat. Even I, Marlene, I was, what the heck? That is excessive. You know, I really thought it was excessive. So initially, I was on the side of Austin, because I'm like, somebody asking you to leave their seat is not a reason for you to stab somebody, right? I said, you know what though? As because the Bible says, but then again, the vast majority of white Americans with their low ass education, their unsophisticated behinds, right? We know they don't read the Bible. So that's why most white Americans don't have problem with being bearers of false testimonies. That's why we know the vast majority of white Americans don't have a problem with lying. Okay. But the Bible says, do not bear false witness. So I said, okay, I'm going to sit down and try to watch as many videos as I can to understand what happened, because that's what you do when you're intelligent. That's what you do when you're a critical thinker, and that's what you do when you are somebody who believes in the Constitution. Right? I was not born in America. I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen, but I know that one of the core documents of this nation is the U.S. Constitution, and the Constitution says that you are presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's what it is. So it doesn't matter if it's a black person, a white person, or not. We have to wait to have the facts. And we also have to wait for the prosecution to do their job beyond reasonable doubt. They have the prosecution has the burden of proof. So I don't understand how a foreigner, I don't understand how a naturalized American, I don't understand how a West African immigrant understands the Constitution better than white people, better than white Americans who claim that this country belongs to them and they founded this country. But Nick, motherfucker, how did you found this country when you don't even know how to read the documents of this country, right? And you see these fuckers, you see all these goofy ass white fucks making a big deal out of Zora Zoran Mandani want to be the mayor of New York City? Oh, he's not born here. Oh, he's a Muslim. Da, da. Child, we have come to realize that there are a lot of immigrants, including Vivek Ramaswamy, who understand the Constitution more than people who are born here. Okay, I'm starting to see that being born here now, it doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit because people just want to throw that shit. Oh, I was born here. I'm from here. No one cares. If you're from here and you don't even have a middle school a middle school level understanding of the U.S. Constitution, we don't give a fuck. Okay, because at that point, your citizenship doesn't mean shit to me. Because part of citizenship involves citizenry. Okay, citizenry. So part of being a citizen means that you have to be well read in the legal documents of your country. Like what makes your country different than this other country, this other nation, right? You have to understand your laws. You have to understand how your laws are written and what your law says are permissible and what your law says is not permissible. But I've come to realize that the vast majority of white Americans don't understand shit. Don't understand shit. And I'm like, if these white Americans, if it was not for violence, because we know it's not intelligence. It definitely ain't intelligence because they're gonna show you every single time they stupid. They're gonna show you every single time they dumb as fuck. They will show you every single time that they're dense as hell, right? So we know it's violence that has made white American at pretty much at the top up to now, because now you got the Asians, the South Asians, right? But without violence, where would white Americans be? Because we know their intelligence, their acumen, their acuity, it ain't gonna get them nowhere. Okay, 400 years in, white people, white Americans are like they're 400 years in into whatever this weird experiment is, and they are still dumb. They are still stupid. They're still ignorant, and that pisses me off. So I sat down and I said, okay, I need to understand. And the first video that I watched was Officer Tatum. And even Brandon Jason, whatever his name is, that coon, he said, okay, he said, oh, it was raining. I said, oh, so that's why he was sitting there. It's not like he went there intentionally to antagonize people, right? It was raining. And also, when we listened to Hunter and his mother, right? Hunter said he was just sitting there. There was not a single moment where Hunter said, oh, he was loud, he was playing music loudly, he was harassing people, or we caught him stealing. There was no commission of a crime because Hunter said he was just sitting there. So if he's just sitting there, why are you threatened? You weigh 225 pounds because your mama said it, right? Your brother weighs 225 pounds. So just the both of y'all, you're almost like you're 500 pounds. Okay, you two big white fucks. Okay, almost 500 pounds. So how can two motherfuckers who weigh 500 pounds be threatened by somebody who weighs 160 pounds? Like, what the fuck is the problem? Then we find out it was 40 of you white fuckers under that tent. So 40 white people? I'm like, the weight advantage, the number of bodies advantage, right? What the fuck are you people threatened by one kid who weighs 160 pounds? Right? This is where you see the fakery. This is where you see the fakeness and the hypocrisy of white Americans, especially white conservative Americans who are always talking about the Constitution this, the Constitution that, right? And also, it's the same white conservatives, the same so-called white conservative Christians who are always saying, "Oh, I'm tired of talking about race. I am tired of the race. I'm tired of identity politics. I am tired of identity. I am tired of this." But they are the same ones who will use your identity against you because they don't like your ass and they want to make sure that you are stripped of your constitutional rights. Because if white Americans, especially white conservative Americans, especially white conservative Christian Americans, right? If they were true about what they say, they would prioritize the Constitution. And what does the Constitution say? Because at that point, we're not even talking about color. It doesn't matter because it truly doesn't matter, but it kind of does, but it doesn't really matter. But it does matter though, right? Because if we're looking at it, you remove anybody's color, right? If you have two kids who collectively weigh 450 pounds and they go after one child who weighs 160 pounds, what are you going to say? That's not a fair fight. And why are you two big ass people picking on the skinny people, right? But you see, that's how you know white Americans are fake as fuck. They are fake as fuck. It doesn't matter who they are. From white liberals to white conservatives, they care about your identity. They will weaponize it to their own gains. It's a very dishonest people. That's why they're all racist. They're all racist. Because if color doesn't matter, let's stick to the facts. As a matter of fact, let's stick to the weight class. Let's stick to weight. Is it fair for two people who weigh 450 pounds to go after somebody who weighs 160 pounds? Right? And even that too. Just take Austin because Austin is the one who escalated the shit because he put his hands on Karmelo and he threw his book bag into the rain. And we have Hunter even confessing to that, right? We have Hunter confessing to that. Hunter said, "My brother grabbed him. My brother threw his stuff in the rain. My brother touched him." Hunter is on camera telling people that yes, Carmelo was talking reckless, talking, but he didn't put his hands on you, right? As an American, you have your First Amendment right is the right to talk reckless. You see, I'm over here and I'm saying fuck white people. There you go. Fuck white people. Hey, boo boo. But does that mean that a white person, because I said fuck white people, I'm saying it loud, fuck white people. Does that mean that any white person here in this parking lot can come and grab me out this damn car? The fuck not. The fuck not. Okay? I can say fuck white people. That is my constitutional right. You have the right to talk reckless. Don't fucking touch me, bitch. Yes, bitch. Because I ain't no punk, bitch. Because you're big. Yes, I will talk shit. Anybody will talk fucking shit. That is your constitutional right. That's your First Amendment right. That's why I'm saying these goofy ass white Americans, they're so remedial. They're so subpar. They're intellectually inferior to me. Okay? Bunch of idiots. They're a bunch of idiots. You have the right to talk reckless. Now, is it necessary? I don't know. Is it over the top? Maybe. But does that mean that somebody tell, okay, well, since you said that, I'm gonna put my hands on you? Okay, then. That's assault, bitch. That is assault. That is physical assault. You don't have the right to put your hands on anybody because whoever puts their hands on somebody first, you started it. You don't get to tell somebody how to react, especially when you outweigh them by 65 pounds. I feel threatened. Okay, I feel threatened. Well, I feel threatened. Okay, and that's how you know they're full of shit. They are full of shit. You have the right to talk shit. We all talk shit. We all talk shit. Okay, there's this one brother I found, Marquette, right? He's always out here every day. All his videos, y'all, all his videos, he talks mad shit about Israel. He talks mad shit about Israel. That's his constitutional right. But does that mean that Israel or somebody from the IDF can come over to America and pew pew him in the head because they don't like what he said? He has the right to fucking say it, bitch. Welcome to America, bitch. Okay? That's part of your constitutional right. You are allowed to use cuss words as part of your constitutional right. What you cannot do is slander and libel. Because you don't have the right to do that kind of stuff. Okay. No, you don't, you can't do that. Okay. You cannot slander and you cannot libel. That's why when Cardi B sued Tasha K, she won because that's defamation, right? That's defamation. You understand? Right? But he said, oh, Carmelo was talking reckless, and as he should, because why you're applying pressure in the rain? Why are you goofy ass people applying pressure in the rain? What is the big deal? There's 40 of y'all. What's the problem? Right? But Hunter clearly said, the kid was sitting there. So he was not breaking into anybody's shit. He was not stealing anybody's stuff. He was not harassing anybody. He wasn't bothering you. He only started talking reckless when y'all came over with your racist ass, reckless ass demand, bitch. Because why does he have to move in the fucking rain? Okay, all this energy in the rain. That's how you know these some goofy ass, racist ass, backyard, back wayward ass, trailer park ass white people. I will never stop saying it. I will never stop saying because who was raised like this? Who do you know puts 20 on 10 in the rain? Who does that? White people? White people, they don't have manners. Kids are menace to society. Okay, they do not have manners because most people who are raised right in the rain, especially if it's 40 to 1, they're not even gonna have an issue with trans. But trans, it's ready. Let the boy sit here real quick. Okay, and when the rain dies down, he can just go. And most likely, he'll just go. But he was not loud. He was not playing music loudly. He was not cursing at y'all. He was not touching anybody. He was not harassing anybody. He was just sitting there. So then what is the problem? It's the problem, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to speak evil, but I'm like, I can really foresee a day where there's truly going to be a civil war in America. There really has to be. There has to be one because white people need to get their shit clocked. White people need to get their shit clocked one good time. I'm telling you, and after that, we're gonna to get their shit clocked one good fucking time. Because I'm like, they're so fucking racist. And their racism is what's keeping this country so fucking divided. And that's what's keeping this country from moving forward. Because they're so fucking racist. They are so fucking racist. Stick to the fucking Constitution and we don't have anything. Can y'all hear me? Okay, stick to the Constitution and we don't have anything to worry about, right? Stick to the Constitution and we do not have anything to worry about, right? What does it mean to get a first degree murder charge? It means that the murder was premeditated. How is that even possible? Let's talk about that shit. Okay? Like, oh, Carmelo's gonna spend life in prison. No, the fuck he not. She to disappoint you. And all these goofy ass coons and these self-hating blacks and these racist blacks that you listen to, if you're a white person, and they got you feeling yourself, thinking like, yeah, 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 yeah. It shows how dumb you are. Shows how dumb you are. Okay, it shows how dumb you are because it should always be suspicious to you to see a black person have so nothing but nasty things to say about people that share his skin color. That's very suspicious. But then again, you're an idiot, so you ain't gonna be too damn smart, right? And nobody ever looked at white people and said, yeah, there goes a discerning people. No, there goes a racist people. I know that's right. Okay. So no, there's not gonna be life in prison. You sound stupid. Now I did feel as though the reason why they did indict him on a first degree murder charge is because, right, is because they want Carmelo to plea. Okay. So they want to give him the highest charge possible to get that boy to plea. But I mean, why would he plea? It's, it's self-defense. Okay, we saw Kyle Rittenhouse murder people on camera, shoot people on camera, even though he had an AR-15. So he could have walked away because he had his ability to harm compared to those people' ability to harm him. No, no, it's not even close. When you have an AR-15, you have a huge advantage. And they sat there and they called that 17-year-old brave, heroic, wumpty wump wump, bump 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 bump, right? Defending him. Oh, he's brave. Oh, he's cute. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. No. I'm Marlene. I will never. I'm not turning my back on Carmelo. And even if it comes out, let me tell you this too, right? Even if it comes out that his family, his mom and dad, and the other people, they ate all the money, they chewed up all the money, they spent all the money. Okay, that's on them. God's gonna deal with them. But what does that have to do with Carmelo? Is Carmelo the one who created his GoFundMe? No. Did the money go into Carmelo's account? No. I don't even know if he's 18 yet, but as far as I know, he's still 17. So him himself also, he's a child. He is a child. Okay. And most likely he's not the one making the financial decisions. So even if something happened to the money, I will blame the family. I will blame Dominique, but I am not going to blame Carmelo. And I will not turn my back on And I hope this is clear because some people are messaging me. I hope this video is clear. When I come out the gym, I'll make a better video. But I just have to say this, right? I've been quiet on the Carmelo situation because I've told y'all this before. I have said this to y'all before. I said your biggest battles are the ones you fight in silence, right? Just because I am quiet does not mean that I regret supporting Carmelo. I will never regret supporting Carmelo, right? Because even when I went into it, when I decided to do my research on Carmelo, I was not even on his side because I thought it was too much. What the heck? Right? But the more I sat there, the more I listened, the more I heard the dad say, oh, yeah, my sons, they know jujitsu. Mama said her son is 225. I look at Carmelo. At first, we thought he was 143 pounds. But then we saw when he got arrested, they said, no, he's 160. But I'm like, 160 to 225, how's that a fair fight? And even Mark brought up to us. He's like, oh, if this was boxing, they would never be in the same weight class. And we went and we looked at boxing videos because it says that Austin being 225 pounds, he's a heavyweight. Okay. And I think Carmelo at 160, he's a lightweight, or no, he's a featherweight. Is that what is it? No, he's a lightweight, right? Super lightweight. So even in boxing, they would never put these two together because somebody at heavyweight is going to whoop the ass of a featherweight. You're going to kill him. You're going to kill him. Instead of focusing on what truly matters here, which is our nephew crip walking on this goofy ass indictment, right? They want to waste my time talking about some money, some money, some money. Why do y'all even care? This is crazy. Every day your money gets sent out to Israel. Do you complain? Every day your money gets sent out to Ukraine. Do you complain? Every day politicians in D.C. do whatever they want to do with your tax dollars. Do you ever get up, get out your fat ass, and walk down Pennsylvania Avenue to let them know that you are not happy about it? No, you don't. But want to pick on little people because they're more accessible to you. Nah, if you want to go fight in D.C. Okay, Trump is trying to pass this goofy ass, big, beautiful bill. Go fight against that. Okay, go fight against that. Use your energy. If you care so much about money, right? You want to be so financially, I guess, like prudent, and you want to be so financially austere, and you want to be so financially diligent. Worry about the big, beautiful bill full of all kinds of waste. and all kinds of, I guess, all kinds of, what's it called again? All kinds of bailouts for his stockbroker friends, his financial friends, his banking friends. Worry about that, okay? Because I don't understand. I don't even know why so many white people care about Carmelo and his GoFundMe when we know the money is not coming from y'all. Okay, and I'm sick of y'all acting like you care about the black community. Oh, you guys, look, they're stealing your money. You white people have stolen our labor. Okay, get the fuck out of here. The biggest thieves out here will always be you. Okay, you will always be undefeated. Okay, 400 years of free labor. And to this day, you continue to steal labor through your goofy ass prison system. Okay, you're a bunch of thieves. You're just a bunch of thieves. Okay, so miss me with that shit. Miss me with, oh, we care about black people. We don't want you to get scammed. White folks, y'all get scammed every day, right? How about you worry about your own scams? How about you worry about what Trump about to do to your asses? Okay, worry about that. Worry about the scams that you have yet to detect in your own community, right? Worry about how these billionaires stay scamming y'all and y'all keep staying poor. Okay, worry about how Trump wants to take your kids. You miss what Midwestern crazy ass white people. Worry about how Trump wants to take your kids to Iran and have your children blown up into pieces. Okay, worry about that. You didn't give any money to Carmelo. Don't worry about it, and don't even pretend to care. Because if white people cared about Black America, it wouldn't look like this. We wouldn't be where we are today. Because if you truly cared, you're like, you know what? I'm not happy. And I get that part. Somebody can say, because, the media has a way of saying things sometimes that can really get people riled up. That's not a problem. You can say, hey, I'm not happy that Austin is dead. I wish Austin wasn't dead. No problem. You have the right to feel like that, right? But you should still say, let's go to court and let's see what happens. Let's see what the prosecutors can actually prove, right? That's what you do when you are a citizen with integrity. That's what you do when you're a citizen who truly wants to see a country united and you want to see an America that heals up. But I think a lot of white people, you truly enjoy the racial divide in this country because you are the biggest instigator of the foolishness. You are the biggest instigator of the foolishness. All you do is instigate racial divide. All you do is play with people's identities. All you do is weaponize people's identity as if you people are known for having a stellar reputation, as if white people are known for having the best reputation out of every single human ethnicity out here. No, y'all some of the low down people we've ever met. Y'all some skinless ass people. You are a bunch of criminal ass people. You're a bunch of genocidal people. You're a bunch of thieving ass people. Okay? We see what you have done to the world. You're not a good people. You don't have good deeds. Greedy as fuck. You are so damn greedy. You're so fucking greedy, and all you do is lie. 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 Okay, you guys. Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. But I'm like, to me, I was like, okay, maybe them saying they want a public defender too, right? It could also have to do with like their sorry, I'm getting hot. It could also have to do with their strategy. I don't know. I really do not know. But I'm gonna trust them. I'm gonna trust the family. I'm gonna trust the family because to me, the research I've done and the people that I saw, that black family that I saw, that black couple that I saw, I will trust them. I think they're very shy. I think also they probably feel very overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what it's like. We don't know what it's like to be in their shoes. We don't know what kind of stress they feel. And what I'm not going to do, I am not going to pile on these people who look just like me as they're going through this. No, I'm going to send prayers out to them. And I'm going to send prayers out to them. I'm going to send I guess financial wisdom out to them. I'm going to send the angels next to them. I'm going to send my prayers for them. I pray for them. I cover them with the blood of Jesus. I ask God to give them infinite wisdom. Sorry. God to give them divine wisdom. I ask God to hold them tight and to let them know it is going to be okay. It is truly, truly going to be okay. Exactly. Bunch of Latino kids in cages, 300 children, 300,000 migrant children are missing, okay? And they don't even care. They do not care. You guys, we did not make a mistake, you guys, okay? Listen to me. Trump, maybe, but Carmelo, we didn't make a mistake because we truly sat there. We spent over like 60 hours talking about Carmelo. We watched the videos over and over and over and over and over again. We went over like self-defense, right? What's required for somebody to be able to use self-defense, right? We went over that. We like even first degree murder, we went over that. Compared to the white man, the white man who killed the black girl. What's her name? That pretty black girl, and he chopped her up. He went. They went on a date, and he kicked her date on a bus. You know, but she gave him a chance though because he's white. But if a black boy had went there on a date on a bus, she's like, oh no, he a dusty, right? But she gave that dusty, piss smelling ass crustacean a chance, and then what happened? Right? He lured her back to his house, and then he cut her up into pieces. He cut her into pieces. And then he started spreading her body all around the town, all around the city. And then he went to a black neighborhood. And that's where he set her car on fire in the black neighborhood. Right. But when the police and the detectives they spoke to his friend, they said he had been planning to kill her for 30 days. So yes, in that instance, first degree murder applies because he planned to kill her for 30 days. You know, he had planned to murder her. The very moment he talked to her, his plan was to kill her, right? How does that compare to Carmelo? Like how like so you look at that, you look at this man, he meets, you look at this goofy ass white barbarian, this white cave dog, okay? He met the young black lady, right? And the very moment I guess they got paired on a dating app, right? You know what I'm saying? He got the very moment he got on the dating app, he planned to kill her because she was black. And he told his friend he was going to kill her. Right? And that's exactly what he did because she dead. Right? And when she went there or when he lured her to his house in the basement, everything was set up, you guys. That white demon had everything set up. They want to call everybody a demon, but the biggest demons is their children. Make it make sense. He had plastic bags all around the basement, y'all. He had all kinds of machetes, cleavers. I don't even know how he cut her body up. You know, when I read that story, I said, my Lord, I know it's kind of sick to say it, but my only prayer is that he killed her first, then he proceeded to cut her up. Because I can only imagine if she was being cut up while she was still alive, right? And instead of white people reassessing themselves and asking themselves, why do they always raise these sociopaths? Why do white American women always raise serial killers? Why do white American women always raise school shooters? Why do white American women raise children that are so hateful? Of course not, because white people don't have self awareness. White people, they never look at themselves as being the problem, as being the biggest problem in America. No, of course not, because it's so much easier in the classical narcissistic textbook manner to focus on somebody else than to focus on yourself. Because these people are a bunch of narcissists. In the words of Nick Fuentes, these are ethnic narcissists, right? Because how can you see what white men do every day in the media and think that as a community, as a white community, you don't got your shit figured out? No, you don't. You're barbarians. We can tell y'all the shit, okay? We keep repeating to y'all, but you don't want to change, right? So from the moment he met her on the dating app, right, he had planned to murder her. He was going to bring her back. He was going to kill her. He's going to chop her up. That's exactly what he did to her. This day, they have yet to put her entire body back together. Because like every month or every week or so, they keep finding other parts of her limbs throughout the city. Right? Matt Walsh and all these goofy ass people, they're very quiet. The grifters are quiet. Even the sisterhood that is always promoting being a white man to other black women, they're also very quiet because they want these black girls to believe that white men are so perfect, white men are Prince Charming, white men are so much better than black men, white men this, white men that. A vast majority of whites are dusties. A vast majority of whites are dusties with poor hygiene. But go ahead, though, risk your life if you want to. Risk your life if you want to. Risk your life if you want to. Okay? But there's a reason why. If a white man is out here looking after black women, there's a reason why. Because why is it that his own people don't want him? Okay? Why is it that the average white woman does not want to be with him? What is wrong with him? Okay? But imagine a man who's rejected by his community and you put him on a pedestal because you think he's a prize. No, he's a problem. No, he might be a serial killer. Oh, he might be a sociopath. Oh, he might be unhinged. Because why is it that the white girl doesn't want his ass? No white girl wants him. He has to come over here to the black community. And then you put this goofy ass barbarian on a freaking pedestal when he has not even showered in the past 2 weeks. Imagine that. All these people on a pedestal who use the same rag to wash their bodies and their asses. Are you actually okay? Are you seriously okay? Are you actually sane? Are you seriously sane? That's crazy. But my point is, he put 30 days of effort. 30 days of planning into killing that young black girl and cutting her body into pieces. He dismembered her. He dismembered her. And then he drove around throwing her body here in the lake, in the trash, in the forest. He was just throwing her body all around. I'm like, this is so despicable. This is nauseating. Who does stuff like this, right? With Carmelo and Austin, you have Hunter himself, who is the twin brother, who said, we didn't know this kid. So if the brother himself is saying, hey, for me, if the twin brother himself, who was there the whole time, is saying, we did not know this kid, then I'm asking the DA, how exactly is it a first degree murder charge? Right? But you know what, you guys, for as much as it's bullshit, for as much as his indictment is bullshit, right? Once again, I repeat, all glory goes to the Lord. All glory goes to God. You understand? Because if this had happened in 1985, we wouldn't have heard about it. They would have played with that boy's life. If this had happened in 1995, they would have played with his life. Okay? In the early 1900s, they would have played with his life. I told y'all this. I said the day this happened, all I could say was thank you to God because this happened in 2025 and not 1925. Because when I tell you white people, they would have gone to that house at night. They would have murdered Carmelo. They would have murdered his father. You understand me? They would have raped his mother. They would have probably killed his siblings, and they would have set that house on fire. White Americans are diabolical. White Americans are they are. I don't even know how people are not people don't have anxiety when they get next to white Americans. Me, Marlene, they scare me. They are like to me, all they give me is demonic energy, diabolical energy. It's like they're like flame retardant. It's like all they want like I don't know. It's like a match, like right, like they're like a match that's just waiting to be ignited because they're so quick to hate. They are so quick to hate. You know what I'm saying? And because they're so idiotic, because the vast majority of white Americans, because the average white American is idiotic, because the average white American it has poor schooling. They go to a horrible school district. Because no, even rich white Americans do despise, right? Rich white Americans despise other group of Americans. Like they don't like the other white Americans, especially poor white Americans, right? Poor white Americans are the rejects of white American society at large, right? I even feel like that's what you see in the Democratic Party, is that the Democratic Party represents the upper echelon of whiteness, right? It represents like the top 1%, the top 10% of white Americans like who are well off, they have money, and they don't come close to those people. And that's why they can't stand MAGA, because to them, MAGA is nothing more than white trash, right? And you see, it's a lot of them, unfortunately. It's a lot of them, right? And so, people like that, not only and when you're dealing with people who are intellectually inferior, when you are dealing with people that have low IQ, when you are dealing with people that have a superiority complex, when you are dealing with people who are just ignorant bastards, right? People like that are more susceptible to feeling self righteous. Because it's always the person that knows the least that thinks they know the most. It's a part of the Dunn Loring effect. I forgot to some, but you'll notice that usually people who know more are usually quiet, right? Because there's a certain peace, there's a certain level of confidence that comes from fully being aware, yeah, being fully understand. Yeah, you have full understanding of what is going on, right? You know what you can do, and you know what you cannot do. You know what the truth is, and you know what a lie is. So when you're that kind of person, you're more likely to cloak yourself in humility because you know what you can and cannot do. As they say, real gangsters move in silence, right? But if you notice, when you are dealing with illiterate people, when you are dealing with people who are not intelligent, when you are dealing with people who are illiterate, when you are dealing with people who are systemically poor, when you are dealing with people who feel as though, and they know innately that they don't meet the standard of what true white American whiteness should be because they're at the bottom of the totem pole. They are at the bottom. Okay. They're like bottom feeders. They're like crawfish. They're like shrimp. Okay. They're the bottom. They're completely at the bottom. Poor white Americans are at the bottom. They're at the bottom. They see everybody doing so much better. They see people that used to be and descendants of the enslaved are doing better. They see Chinese come here, they're doing better than them. They see Indians are coming here, doing better than them. They see Africans are coming here, doing better than them. They see Muslims come here and they do better than them, right? And so they harbor a lot of resentment for their inability to be successful in a system that was created by their own ancestors. I mean, maybe I would too, but I can't relate. I'm not mediocre. I cannot relate, right? So people like that, you realize that a more ignorant a person is, the more they are to be self-righteous. Right? Because there's nothing that hurts an ignorant person more than to admit to themselves that I don't know as much as I think. Because once again, even that realization makes them feel yet inferior. Oh, wow. You see, here's another thing I don't know. Here's another thing that discounts me as a white person. So, yeah, they mad, right? So, what they have to do is to hold on to their misinformation. They have to hold on to their hatred of other people, right? But sometimes I even think, for as much as I mean, I do believe they hate black people, but I think they hate themselves more. And they hate the fact that when America was being built and people were being abused and land was being stolen and resources were being stolen, that their specific people, their specific poor white ancestors did not have the wherewithal to position them in a stance that could prop them up to the top level of white American echelon. These people, they're big mad. They're big mad. They are truly big mad. So that's why they're so self-righteous. And when you deal with the people that are so self-righteous, you gotta be very, very careful. Because of people like that, they don't see that they have their own biases. They don't see that they're moving out of jealousy. They don't see that they're moving out of ignorance. They don't see that they're moving out of being completely unintelligent. Like I said, look at how many of them do not understand the Constitution. Look at how many of these white Americans do not even understand what a first degree murder charge truly is. They don't get it. And why that's so, like, it will never stop. It will never stop. And like, tickling me because I'm like, I repeat, once again, for somebody who's an immigrant, I was not born here. I came here, I was like 11 and a half, right? Right? I'm a naturalized US citizen. But I'm like, to see people who were born here, people who were never enslaved, people who were never denied access to an education because they are born with the complexion of the oppression, right? But for these people to not even understand what a grand jury is, it's like it's laughable. It is so laughable. When I was younger, like I was a little baby living in Africa, people used to always think that every white person was smart, because you would see it in the movies like, oh, white people are just smart. White people just know it all. White people just have the right answer, right? But you move here, especially when I moved here like 96 ish, right? But around like 90, 97, 98, the more I started watching Jerry Springer, I understood that there was something wrong about white people who lived in West Virginia. I'm like, okay, I guess these people ain't smart. I definitely knew that white people in West Virginia, something was suspicious because many of them practice incest, right? Like, what kind of smart people will sleep with their own cousins? What kind of smart people will sleep with their own sisters? I'm like, okay, maybe West Virginia is actually cursed. So that's why the white people of West Virginia are so bizarre like this. They're so backwards like this. But then you get even older and you realize, like, no, it's not just West Virginia. It's like the average white American is truly basic. They're truly basic. And for these people to not even know what a grand jury is, as opposed to a petit jury, for them to not even know how a grand jury actually works, they think when you go to a grand jury, that's it. Oh, the grand jury indicted him, so that's it. Like, no, no. The fact that they don't even know that when a case is brought up before a grand jury, it's only the district attorney. The defense attorney is not there. The defense attorney is not there to say, yeah, no, that don't apply. No, that's a lie. No, that's bullshit. No, we can't include that in, right? It's just the DA making their biased presentation to a grand jury. So we have no idea what the grand jury actually saw, right? We don't know what they saw because what they want is an indictment. So, and we have realized that once again, because the American legal system was built by corrupt, racist white males, right? We understand why the grand jury works the way that it does. But there are many people who have been indicted before a grand jury. And when the case goes to trial before a petit jury, which is like the 12 people, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? That's called a petit jury, right? Then you see that people walk, right? There are a lot of people who get indicted by a grand jury and they walk. What are we talking about? What are we even talking about?
right? And I'm like, for as much as these white Americans claim to be so, I don't know, so they care so much, they know the Constitution so much, what I mean? Because I'm like, you saw the same thing for if I have some goofy ass whites listening to me. It's the same thing with Fannie Willis, right? I don't know what Fannie Willis said. I don't know what she brought up before the grand jury, but you see that Fannie Willis was able to, she was able to get a RICO indictment against Donald Trump. Okay, but we sat here and we watched this entire farce. Did you ever see Trump go to court one time? Right? When Trump was indicted, he went, he took his mugshot, and he went back home on his private jet. Was Trump ever in court? No. We saw Fannie be the one now to go into, she was the one on trial, right? Right? Well, Letitia James and got Trump's indictment in New York City. Okay. He went there, he took his mugshot. Then she wanted like $500 million bail. Like, once again, unconstitutional. Okay. Did you see Trump go to trial? Did you even see Trump like go there every like what the heck? No. Then Trump walked away, got to be president. Okay, cool. So I'm like, it's like it's like part of it. It makes me laugh, and part of me is like, damn, like this is really concerning. And it's truly concerning that even to this day, we are in 2020. Like we're almost like halfway into the year, right? It's almost July 2025, and that the vast majority of white Americans do not even understand what a grand jury is. What does it mean to bring up charges in front of a grand jury? What does it even mean to get an indictment from a grand jury? And also, what is the difference between a grand jury and a petit jury? Mind you, I never went to law school. I never went to law school. But I really do believe that most everybody in America should not be allowed to graduate high school if they can't even answer what is the difference between a grand jury and a petit jury, right? Which is why, once again, I told you I agree with Vivek Ramaswamy that anybody who wants to vote in America should be required to take a test. Y'all, maybe there's a reason why they don't want to do that because then it'll show how the average American is just an idiot. Okay, hey Queen, because I'm sure if you make it so that for you to be able to vote, you got to get a license to vote. People should not even have the right to vote, right? People should have the license to vote because people should be able to answer basic questions about yeah, they should be able to answer civil questions about what like civic questions like yeah, what's a grand jury, what's a petit jury, right? What are the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, right? What is the difference between the Declaration of Independence, the articles, and also the Constitution? People should be required to answer these questions, right? What's excessive bail? Is that constitutional? Is that unconstitutional? What's self defense? People should have to answer these questions. How many terms can a president serve? How many terms can a Supreme Court justice serve? How many terms can a U.S. senator serve? How many terms can a House representative can actually? Okay, people should have to answer these questions. And if you cannot answer these questions, then you should not be able to vote, right? America truly needs to be in the hands of intelligent people and critical thinkers. You have to prove that you are intelligent. You have to prove that you understand the basic, right, of what makes this country a country, like what makes America America, right? You have to show that you have the basic understanding of our Constitution, right? You understand? No, I'm serious with you. Like people have to take a test because it's astounding to me. This is crazy. So you like what an indictment means what? You know what I mean? But I'm like, everybody should know this. When you talk about a grand jury, a DA can go in there and say whatever don't even know if they're required to even meet the burden of proof when they present whatever they present to a grand jury. I don't know. I can look into it, right? But I'm like, when a district attorney presents whatever they're presenting to a grand jury, are they even required to meet the burden of proof before they show things to a grand jury? But we should also know this: the grand people who make up the grand jury are not going to be the same people that are going to be on your petit jury. Right. And that's why we're even seeing it with the Diddy situation, right? Because Diddy, I don't know what these goofy ass racist white girls went and told the grand jury about Diddy, but they give all these charges, right? Because you see how and that's how you see how fucked up the grand jury can actually be, and how fucked up the whole process of grand jury can actually be. Because to the rest, to me, and people who think like me, I guess to some of y'all, right? We were really confused as how can one person do a RICO? You see what I'm trying to say? So now you gotta start asking yourself, we didn't even go to law school. I didn't go to law school,
right? Many of us did not go to law school. But as we're sitting here listening to this, we can say, okay, for me, I think it's BDSM. But somebody can say, okay, I think Diddy was there was domestic violence and he was abusing Cassie financially, physically. That's fine. You can say that. For me, I still say it's BDSM, right? However, how does that constitute a RICO? Right? So because you abuse a woman or you abuse a man, automatically you're running a crime, a racket? We're so confused, right? Trafficking across state lines. If somebody is your girlfriend, if you're dating a person and you happen to be a multimillionaire and Diddy does not travel commercial, he travels private. He has private planes. So if you're married to a you're married to a multimillionaire or almost a billionaire who has houses in Miami, houses in LA, houses in New York. I mean, you get on the jet, you don't go places. How is that trafficking people across state lines? Like, what are we even talking about? But when he took it to the Met Gala three, four times, right? That was also human trafficking. Like, go sit down somewhere. Okay. So you see, and now the grand jury said, yeah, the charges can fly, right? The RICO stuff can fly, the prostitution can fly, the trafficking across state line can fly, right? But obviously, if you saw since yesterday, they've been having an issue with the jury because there is one juror that's saying he don't care what the judge said, right? So why is it that the grand jury and the petit jury automatically do not see it the same way? So what the fuck goes on when they do a grand jury? Right? So I'm like that, and that's what I'm saying. Like people are just so fucking ignorant. People are so fucking ignorant. And I even feel like even when it comes to being a naturalized U.S. citizen, right? I even feel like people should not even be allowed to become a naturalized U.S. citizen unless they can show some kind of proficiency in also understanding the Constitution and the laws of the land, right? Because you might become a U.S. you might become a naturalized U.S. citizen, and you could be called to serve on the jury, but come to find out, you don't know shit. So why the fuck are you a U.S. citizen? Right? Nobody should be allowed to be a citizen of any country if they don't even have a certain level of proficiency in the laws of the land. Right? That's crazy to me. That is really, really crazy to me. Right? You see what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, I'm sure. Why would it not pass? Because they're gonna get paid. They're gonna get paid, right? So I'm like, distraction. Once again, it's a major distraction, and it could very well be that Diddy is going to walk, right? Because how does one person do a RICO? Very bizarre, very very bizarre. And the fact that there's one jury who's not down with the other juries, quite interesting, right? Because a lot of people do, and then right before them too, right before we even got to deliberation, right before the jury got to deliberate on Diddy's case, right, we saw the DA's office dropping charges. So I'm like, why are you dropping charges that were allowed to fly by the grand jury? Right? So is it possible that when a DA goes to a grand jury, he wants to upsell the crime? He wants to upsell the offense. He wants to make it more than what it is. Right? Why? Because we understand that district attorneys are people who run for reelection. It is a political office, right? It's not an office where you are hiring people to truly do what the law says to do. No, because the moment that people have to get reelected, right, people will do things that are very unethical, especially here in America, especially in a country like America where greed trumps all and race, unfortunately, for many white people, trumps everything. I'm sure this white man wants to get reelected. Just like I'm sure Fannie Willis also wanted to get reelected, right? So people play these district attorneys, the Fannie Willis, black woman in Atlanta and Fulton County, or this white man in Colon County, Texas, right? We see that people play to their base. And that's what's so sad about America today is that people don't even care about the unity of this country. People don't even care about the sanctity of the Constitution, right? People just want to play it up to their base. Because I showed y'all, even with Atlanta, even specifically Fulton County, right? I showed you guys that there was a black man in Fulton County. He was detained in Fulton County. He could not make his bail. And the man was eaten alive by bed bugs, right? Fulton County Jail is so disgusting. The Fulton County Jail is so nasty. It is so disgusting. It is so unsanitary, right? In all my years of living, okay, from living in Africa to living here in America, and all my years, I'm 40 years old, and all my years of living, I have never heard that bugs ate a human being. Never heard that. Okay, and to be in America and to hear that a human being was eaten alive by bugs, I'm like, how is that even possible? Was that even possible?
right? There is so much that has to be done in Fulton County. There is so much that has to be done in the Fulton County jail, right? Because the moment we are informed that there is a black man, it doesn't matter his complexion, but the moment that we understand that there was a man who was detained, right? He could not make bail. Okay, so your job is to keep him safe until he can go to trial. I think it was like a traffic violation, something really stupid, also, right? But I'm like, so over a traffic violation is somebody not being able to make the bail? Now the man is dead because bed bugs ate him up? How can bed bugs eat a person? My thing is like he was not taking showers. Nobody was checking on him. Y'all just let this man in there for because how do bed bugs eat a person? So confused, right? But you see, the vast majority of black people at large did not care. The vast majority of black people from Fulton County did not care. The vast majority of black people in Fulton County who paid taxes in Fulton County did not care about what happened to that black man. They didn't even care about what happened to that man, period. Right? They cared more about Fannie Willis taking their taxpayer dollars to go persecute Donald Trump, right? Because that's how obsessed they are. You understand? Like that's like they have Trump derangement syndrome, right? Because whether you like Trump or not, or you hate Trump or not, you don't have an infinite amount of money. There's no infinite amount of money. So as a taxpayer, you also got to think, you know what? I would love to see Trump go down, but not with my money. Get somebody else to do it, right? Because there are people dying in Fulton County Jail. But I'm like, if you can die from bed bugs in Fulton County Jail, what happens to you if you go to prison in Georgia? Because that jail is not even as bad as prison, right? But imagine if the Fulton County Jail can get you killed, if bed bugs in Fulton County Jail can get you killed, what is going to happen to you when you actually get convicted and sent to a Georgia prison, right? Frogs going to kill you, roaches going to kill you, rats going to kill you, right? That is so disgusting. Nobody held her accountable for that. Right? Nobody held her accountable for that. I don't even think anybody was brought up on charges for that. Nobody was prosecuted for that. Right? But you see, because these are political offices where people do not become DAs to do right the constituents and even like once again people who are detained because once again what does the constitution say, right? You are innocent until proven guilty. Now they can detain you because they have a bail, you can't pay the bail, or you might be a flight risk. But nonetheless, because you have yet to be convicted, they have to make sure you're safe until you can stand trial. Because at trial, you might be exonerated or you might be convicted, right? So when it comes to the jailhouse, we should all care how people are being treated at the jailhouse. Because the vast majority of people at the jailhouse are not convicted, they're simply charged. Being charged and convicted in the same thing. Even being indicted, charged, convicted in the same thing. That's why I say people got to go take. People need to take a test, and they need to show their proficiency, right? So now let's move over to Texas. Let's move over to Colon County, Texas, right? That white man also he saw the press. He saw the sorry guys, sorry, right? The white man also in Cullen County, Texas, he saw the pressure. He saw that the story went viral. It got a lot of national attention also. So because he also wants to be reelected, because how much he make? 100,000, $120,000? Like he don't make that much money. They don't make that much money. They don't make that much money, right? And so imagine like if you and also I do believe that's not to be offensive, right? But maybe it is offensive, but what do I care, right? But I do believe that you must not have been a great law student for you to become a district attorney. Right? Because if you were really good in law school, if you had the best grades in law school, if you had the best clerkmanships in law school, you would have worked for a big firm, right? You would have worked for a big firm. You would not be a district attorney, right? And you're a public officer. Don't make that much money, right? So you're also basic. So that's why also to have charges being brought up by a district attorney too, I would really worry. I would naturally worry about that because it's not the best of law school. Right? The best law students do not become public defenders or public whatever how you call it like public servants like that. They just don't do it. Okay, they don't do it. So if your career relies on you selling your mediocrity to
your constituents in your county for you to be able to make a six-figure income, yeah, I'm not too worried about you. Okay? You are just playing to your base. You went for the highest charge possible so you can make it seem like you're doing something because we know, just like Trump does the same thing for these goofy ass, low lives white Americans, right? Oh, I'm going to put tariffs on China. Oh, I'm going to bring the jobs back from China. Oh, I'm going to deport people. Like, he just does all kinds of bullshit. But when it's all said and done, even now, I don't know where you guys are, but right now, to me, like over here, gas is $3.39. I'm like, okay, so because y'all went and bombed Iran, so now gas is crazy like that. Because last week, gas was like I was going to get gas last week for like 319 or something, or like 2.99. But I'm like, it's almost jumped up by 40 cents, right? He told us we'll have cheap gas prices, one thing, one grocery price gonna go down. But I'm telling you, like 2028 will come, right? And these white Americans won't have shit. They won't have shit to show for it. Right? They don't have shit. Borders are still open. I showed you the video because the white man he travels. The borders are still open, right? So yeah, he might deport a few people, but all of that is for press. All of that is press. Like, if people truly believe that Trump even cares about deporting people, you're dumb as hell. America relies on illegal immigrant labor. Okay. The vast majority of these big people, big business people who are usually Republicans, they rely on illegal immigration labor. Okay. So they will never fully get rid of these people. Trump is not going to be out here deporting all kinds of people. But what he will do is that when he deports 20 people, 30 people, 50 people, they're going to make such a big deal about it that you think he's deporting hundreds of thousands of people. Right. If you ever look at the kinds of people you see on TV, these are just regular ass small people. Okay, they might lie and say, oh, these are gang members, one wump wump, but I truly do not believe that it's that easy to catch gang members, okay? America relies heavily, 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 even the whole construction thing, it relies heavily on illegal immigrant labor. So you're not going to get rid of them. But what Trump understands the power of the media. Trump understands how you take something really small and you make it bigger than what it is so that you can make it seem like you're actually working, okay? But 4 years will come and 4 years will go, and the average white American, they're actually going to be in a worse shape than before Trump got elected. That is a fact. That is a fact. So I feel like that the white district attorney, that man in Fulton County, Texas, I feel like it's the same thing, right? He knows that most of these people don't understand the law. Okay, don't understand the law. He went for the highest charge he could go. He could go for. Maybe I feel like it's to placate the white racists. I also feel like it's to apply pressure on Carmelo to get him to sign a plea deal, and also maybe because he knows it's not gonna stand, so that he can say, "Oh, I tried my best." You know what I'm saying? Because it's a deceit for people. So, oh, look, I tried my best. I tried my best. But ultimately, me, Marlene, where I stand, as far as Carmelo is concerned, I'm not worried. I am truly not worried. I spent too many hours. I spent too many hours looking at this Carmelo case, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried because self defense actually stands. And I also got that from Judge Joe Brown, his drunk ass, right? Because he said there has to be disparate strength for self defense to hold. I'm like, well, there's a 65 pound difference. And on top of that, come to find out it was 40 to 1. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So it's like, no, I'm not worried. And like I said, also in the 90s, they did the same fuckery to Allen Iverson. Okay? Did the same bullshit to Allen Iverson. And what happened? He went on to be in the NBA. He went on to be one of the greatest basketball players ever. He went on to be one of the most iconic 76ers ever. I don't think Philly's ever had a better player than Allen Iverson. He will always be the GOAT. Okay? He will always be the GOAT. But that's the same thing that happened to Allen Iverson. Okay, back in Hampton, because he's from Hampton, Virginia. A lot of great players are from Hampton, Virginia. But anyways, right? Allen Iverson, they went to a bowling alley, right? And these white boys once again starting shit, right? Them GMO chicken ass bitches, right? And think about white people, they know they can't fight. They know they're sensitive. They know they cry quick, but they always want to start some shit with people, right? So when they went to the bowling alley, right? It got real because these white boys started messing with them people. So they beat their asses. And you know what white people gonna do? Instead of taking their ass whooping and going home, be like, you know what, this is what it is, yeah. Boys will be boys. No, you know what they did? They have to go press charges. They have to go do the most, per usual. Line ass white people, per usual, right? But I told you, at the end of the day, right? Because he was in there for a hot minute. He was in the jailhouse for a hot minute. But I said, at the end of the day, right? He won, right? At the end of the day, Allen Iverson won. right? He got to be way more important to all these people. He got to be way more iconic than any of these poor white trash people in Hampton, Virginia, right? Hey, Lena, right? Yeah. He got to be richer than all of them. He got to be more iconic. I don't know, like his deal with like Adidas was like $100 million, right? All the young people that fought him, the young white boys, them trashy ass white boys, them wolves that fought him at the bowling alley. Who remembers these people? Nobody. The police officers who did the very most. Who remembers these people? Bunch of nobodies, right? Probably died, broke with diabetes in a bad foot. Okay? The prosecutor and prosecutor. Who remembers these people? Right? The racist white judges of Hampton. Who remembers these people? Right? At the end of the day, the name that shines above all these names is Allen Iverson. When people talk about, oh my gosh, who are the famous people that come out of that came out of Hampton, Virginia, right? Who is it? Right? It's Mike Vick. It's Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about these white people. Okay, give me a famous white person that came out of Hampton, Virginia. Who? Who are even like bad Newport News, right? Chris Brown also come from Newport News. Trey Songz come from Newport News. That's a lot of talent down there in the Virginia. Okay, so I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It truly does not matter, right? The people did all their evil shit to Joseph, but at the end of the day, he got to be a superstar. He got to be all the way at the top. And that's what I see for Carmelo. This is foolishness. This is utter foolishness. This is nothing more than foolishness. And one thing I have learned, especially from my cousin, but one thing I have truly, truly learned is that in this life, you got to have faith. You truly have to have faith. And when God talks to you, when God gives you a message, you cannot allow anybody to distract you. You understand me? Anybody to distract you. You understand? I have not talked about the Carmelo stuff because part of it, it annoys me, and then part of it also, like I said, I'm a person who believes that your biggest battles are fought in silence. But we watch those videos over and over and over and over. Like my support for Carmelo does not rest on the fact that he is black. No, because I told you, Marlene, I would have done the same thing. All done the same thing. There ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Two girls, two sisters who both weigh 225, about to jump my ass. Okay? Ain't no way. Two sisters who both weigh 225 and know jujitsu are about to put me in a fucking pretzel and a freaking crucifix and God knows what else. You're not touching me. You're not touching me, especially when I'm not doing anything to you, especially when you don't own the bleachers, you don't own the tent, you don't own the stadium, right? And we're all the same age. So why do you think that you have more authority than me? Why do you think that you can put your hands on me? We're all students, we're all peers. Why do you want to put your hands on me? You're not going to touch me. And I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. If I was in Carmelo's shoes and I had told these fools don't put their hands on me and they proceed to put their hands on me, then you fucked around, you found out. Okay? If his life, Austin Metcalf, if his life meant something to him, he would have left his house that day, even the way he lives his life, period. He would have been a good young man. He would have been an honorable young man. And he would have been a young man that knew how to talk to people, right? It is raining. You see that that boy is fully dressed in his school uniform. And also, there's 40 of y'all, there's one of him and it's raining. Why can't you make friends? Why can't you introduce yourself to people? Right? But once again, white people at large are savages. Okay? They lack civility. They truly lack civility. They lack good manners. They don't know how to greet people, don't know how to be friendly to people, don't even know how to talk to people. You see how they talk to their parents. You see how they talk to their parents. You see how they talk to adults. You see how they even talk to each other. Okay? They have no love. They have no warmth about them, no kindness about them. So, like, no, I said this before. If I was in Carmelo's shoes, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing because you're not about to rough me up in front of all these people, trying to beat me up in front of people, embarrass me in front of people, and throw me down these steps, these concrete steps in the rain. Doing all of this, right? Doing all of this. Yeah, these metal ass bleachers where anybody could have gotten hurt. Anybody could have gotten hurt. This is so damn reckless. This is so reckless. So I'm like, no, you're not going to distract me with the GoFundMe money because you cannot prove because you don't have access to the money. You didn't create the account. You don't know where the money is or how the money has been spent. So you're not going to distract me on this money thing, okay? Because you don't know where the money is. If you don't have good intention, if you believe the worst of black people, If you saw that family, you saw both of his parents the first time when they went to the courthouse for his bail hearing, and the second time with the press conference. If you looked at his parents on both occasions, right, and you saw and you said to yourself, yeah, they look like scammers, they look like Floridians, they look like those kinds of people, that's on you. That's really on you. Me, Marlene, what I saw is a very young, they're very young. It's a very, very young family. I think they're very shy. And I think like I think they're truly, truly overwhelmed. But one thing it never gave to me was scammer. One thing it never gave to me was dishonest. One thing it never gave, well, oh, these people couldn't wait for their son to make money off of GoFundMe, Wumpty Wump. Don't even know if the GoFundMe was even their idea, right? But like I said, the very moment the money was raised and these white people saw how much money was being raised and how fast the money was being raised, they made it their mission to disparage people into giving, to make people think, oh, this is similar to BLM. It is not similar to BLM. BLM is a political movement that was funded by by George Soros. So it was funded by a white, I guess, where he's from, Romania, okay, Ashkenazi Jew, whatever he is. It was funded by that man. Okay, it was political, and not just that. What's it called? BLM. They raised $56 million. Okay, the entire left media liberals were all supporting those people. That is not what's happening here with Carmelo. Carmelo's an individual. We don't even know who opened the GoFundMe, who created GoFundMe. Don't even know where the money is. But ultimately, Marlene. I have not heard from his mom. I have not heard from his dad, right? So I will not assume the worst. I will not assume the worst. Just because somebody asks for a public defender does not automatically mean the money is gone. They do not have to come out here and share their legal strategy with the rest of us. Okay, they don't have to share anything with you, and I don't even think that the people who gave to Carmelo are the ones even complaining, right? But like I said, I will not put it past Charlie Kirk to pay money to certain influencers to start spreading all kinds of BS on the internet because people are attracted to negativity, right? People are attracted to negativity. People love to believe the worst out of other people. People love, hey Tanisha, people love to believe the worst out of other people. People love to believe the most. I mean, it's like the way social media works, it's like social media works on negativity. It doesn't work on the truth. It doesn't work on, compromises. It doesn't work on showing both sides and like understanding that, oh, sometimes there are nuances, sometimes, you know what, there are things we don't know. From where I stand, especially if you're not a criminal attorney, so I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, you're not in that position. You are not a criminal attorney. You're not even defense. You know nothing about the law, so you don't know if this could also be a political move for them because you don't know what's going on. You're not there. You don't live there, right? But just because somebody says, oh, Carmelo asked for a public defender, it doesn't automatically mean that the money is gone. Now, the money could be gone. They would be a shame if it was gone. But nonetheless, even if the money was gone, $600,000 was gone. Okay. I will never say that a 17-year-old should rot in prison because 600,000 was mismanaged. Baby, the Pentagon has mismanaged over $8 billion. Okay. When it came to Ukraine, we woke up one day and there was a letter issued by the White House where they said that, oh, I don't know, the Pentagon said they don't know where $6 billion went. And nobody, like, people complain a little bit, but nobody went marching, right? Every single day, our government is mismanaging billions of dollars. So let's stop clutching our pearls, okay? Over $600. I truly do not believe that the 600,000 was mismanaged, right? I do not believe that, right? And what I do believe is that maybe asking for a public defender, it could be a way for them to have a strategy. And I also do believe that it would. And I said this to y'all when I did one of my videos. I said the way I see this because of all these racist white people, right? I said Marlene, I will try to drag this as much as possible. Do y'all remember that? I said, if it was me, we would not even go to court until 2028, right? I told y'all this because you're not about to use me for reelection. You're not about to use me for reelection. You're not, but the judge also, the black judge also, she's also up for everybody. And that's why our court system is so fucked up. I don't even think people should even have to go for election like that, right? The judge, that's someone that's elected. That's an elected official. District attorney, that's an elected official. So if you have people who feel like, hey, the public wants to see this young man go to jail, the public wants to see this young man go to prison, the public wants this young man to rot in prison, and if I do so, I am more likely to get reelected. What are they gonna do? Okay. Often do you meet an average American that has even an ounce of integrity, right? How often do you even meet? How often? I mean, yeah, people kill me. People truly, truly kill me. People act as if they don't know how much greed has everybody in a chokehold, right? When was the last time that you interacted with anybody out here in America and you could say, you know what, this person right here really has integrity, right? Because everybody over here is just concerned about themselves, money, greed, status, money, status, power. Da, da. You know, it's the American norm. It really is the American norm. Greed, embrace greed, justify greed, greed, greed. It just never stops. We're not saying don't be successful, but damn, okay, like you don't have to be this greedy, right? But we have a judge who's up for reelection. You know, this woman is capable, because you're probably a misandrist. This woman is also capable of throwing Carmelo's to play with his life, right? Because she wants to get reelected. I definitely know that the district attorney, he wants to be reelected, right? And I told y'all this. I said, if it was me, Marlene, if I was his lawyer, I will try to delay this as much as possible. When people have forgotten about this, because what they have done with the media is that they have truly, truly polluted the jury. The- so the more you wait, the more it dies down, the more everybody forgets about this. You can increase your odds of having a more impartial jury that truly wants to hear the facts, right? Because if you go in right now where people are so full of hatred, they're full of misinformation, they're full of racism and things of the sort, it's like, are people, or even those jury, because they're people too, are they able to put aside their biases, their racism, their preconceived notion, and truly say, you know what, if I was in Carmelo's shoes that day, what would I have done? You know what I'm saying? What would I have done? Right? My thing's like, why? And all this at 10 o'clock, all this at 10 o'clock in the morning. Why so much energy at 10 o'clock in the morning? I can understand 6 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night because sometimes nighttime is like demon hour. But I'm like, but damn, this is like the stabbing was like 9:54 in the morning. Why do people have so much energy like this? Right? It's a track me. Chill, chill. It's raining. Calm the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Calm the fuck down. And what I will do, because I got to do it like in a shorter format, but what I will do, I will definitely make a video comparing Carmelo's situation to what happened to the sanitation workers in Memphis. You know, but that's why Dr. King went to Memphis because the black sanitation workers in Memphis, they were not being treated right. Okay, and then one day, once again, it was raining. It was raining, y'all. And so they were trying to seek shelter inside the building. And these racist white people, it's always white people, these racist white people told them they couldn't stay inside because they're black, right? So then the black sanitation workers, they have to go outside and they try to seek cover in the truck, but the back of the truck, and that's how the machine just came down and just kill them. They got crushed. You know what I mean? I'm like, all this could have been avoided if you had allowed these people to seek shelter. What is the problem? What? No, white people have no mercy. White people they have no kindness in them, and they don't change. They do not change, and that's why it is so important to know your history. Like it really is important to know your history. But behind this rain business, how many black people have had their life like messed up because of this foolishness? Right? It's like this is crazy. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. What is going on? What is going on? There are 40 people. There's one Carmelo. Nobody could tell Hunter and all say, okay, calm down. It's not a big deal. As long as he's not breaking anything, he's not stealing anything, he's not being loud, he's not harassing anybody. No, there was nobody out of 40 people under that tent. There is not a single person that could have said, Hunter, calm down. Austin, calm down. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. No, because they're a bunch of racists. And collectively they get together, it's a fucking mob. It's a fucking mob. That white people get together, they bring the worst out of each other. Because somebody out of 40 people, I mean, two are acting crazy, but 38 other people, out of 38 other people, there was nobody to say, it's not that deep. Let the boy sit here, and once the rain cools down, then he can leave, right? But ultimately, it is a stadium. You guys are there for a sports event. Right? Like when you go to the Olympics, like it happens. People be, oh, you're on this team, but you're over here. Nobody goes to the Olympics and is being bullied for not being at the right place. You'll see American players kiki with the Jamaican players. You'll see like people kiki all the time. Like it's about sports at the end of the day. It's about sports. So why can't y'all come in a spirit of sportsmanship and be accommodating, right? Because today he needs refuge because it's raining. Tomorrow it could be you. But they don't look at life like that because they're not able to go past your color. That's why I cannot cannot take them seriously when they say things like, I don't see color. Like, no, I cannot take you seriously because you do see color. Because if you didn't see a color, you will see another student in need during the rain. And so if you didn't even pay for this tent, you didn't pay for the tent, you didn't pay for the bleachers, and you didn't pay for the stadium. So why can this kid sit here? Why can he sit here? Right? Now, they don't go to the same school district, but even if they had gone to the same school district, right? Okay. Why can he sit here when this tent is being bought? The tent was bought with taxpayer money. Why can he sit here? Then you look at Austin because we did that too because of Thomas, right? So Thomas, he went and he looked up at the student code of conduct, the manual. But even in the code of conduct, right? Austin and Hunter had no business doing that to Carmelo. Because when you read their, when you, I think I have to do like shorter videos, but when you look at their student manual, Hunter and Austin had no business asking Carmelo to move because in their student manual, it said that you can't bully or harass another student. Right? So when you're asking somebody to leave in the rain, when nobody is bothering you, nobody's taking your stuff, nobody's like, nobody is stopping you from enjoying the tent, nobody's stopping you from having shelter under the tent, right? Where do you come off asking him to leave in the rain? Where do you come off doing that kind of stuff? If it's not the fact that you want to be a bully, you want to dehumanize him and you want to degrade him. You want this boy to feel like he's less than. But why are you like this? Like who fucking raised you? Who fuck? But we already know. Okay, we know who raised them, right? So I'm like, no, 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 no. So we're gonna stay. I'm like, me. I am staying focused. And my point is, the first degree murder charge. It is excessive. It is extremely excessive, but it's okay. They can take that L too, just like they did with the bail. They really thought that bail was gonna stay at 1 million. Right, and you saw them make videos. Oh, but he raised $500,000, so he should be able to pay $1 million bail. Oh no, it would never happen. Okay, but even the bail coming down to 250, that also is excessive, right? Now, Carmelo, when he was released on his bond, it's like house arrest, right? He's on house arrest. He can't do this, he can't do that. I think he has to report to court once a week to see the judge, right? Has anybody said that he missed a day with the judge? You see how full of shit they are, right? Can anybody tell you that Carmelo was late this day or he didn't show up for court that day? No, because the judge, the black girl, the black lady said to him, if you don't show up for your weekly court appointment, you're going back in there, right? Did he miss any of those things? No, he has not. Okay, he's going to court on the 18th because I guess he says he wants a public defender, and we'll find out why on the 18th. That's number one. That's number two, right? Number three, these people know where he lives. They know where he lives. And you saw Officer Tatum, he put their entire address on the internet, right? Like they were doxxed. The entire family has been doxxed. So they know where he lives, right? Have they come to you and say, oh, yeah, we see a bunch of Amazon packages there every day. We see a bunch of UPS packages go there every day. We see a bunch of pizza food delivery every day, And you know they would because they know where they live. Officer Tatum made an entire video doxing the family, their address, the inside the house, the rooms. Like he has shown everything. He has shown everything. I'm like, how would you feel if this was you? Instead of focusing on the fact that this family has no privacy, their safety, their lives are at risk because goofy ass people like Officer Tatum, who has over 1 million subscribers, decided to make a video that has over 1 million views, showing the house, showing the address, showing like the inside the house, the foyer, the rooms, the windows. He has shown everything about these people's houses, right? How is that okay? How is that okay? Right? Can you put a price on somebody's security? Can you put a price on somebody's safety? Right? Or would it be better if the money was here, but all of them were actually dead by some white terrorists? I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, seriously, what the heck is going on? Right? But has anybody told you, oh, Carmelo's been missing his weekly appointments? No. Yeah, he did that. And he did. It's their house. He put like the video is there. The way these people have been treated, it is so disgusting. It is so inhumane. It is so inhumane. Doxing is illegal. And even for YouTube to leave that video up, it's like you realize YouTube ain't shit also, right? Has anybody ever doxed Kyle Rittenhouse? Has anybody doxed Daniel Petty and his family? Has anybody doxed any of these white murderers, right? Did they get doxed? I'm like, you see Officer Tatum, and because he works for Charlie Kirk, the racist, he put the entire, it's their house. It really is their house. You know what I mean? And he tried to cover, like he covered the address, but he didn't cover the zip code. He didn't cover the city. He didn't cover the zip code. The city, state, and zip code he didn't cover. And then also it's on Zillow, and also with Google you can reverse image. So I'm like you're not protecting anybody. I'm like, he needs to be sued. If whatever kind of money they can come up with, they gotta sue him for the difference, right? He showed the house, like he showed it on Zillow. He showed the inside of the house, like he just showed everything. When you look at Carmelo's picture and his mom, because his mom is she has social media. She does like she has social media. So that's how people got some of their pictures because his mom has social media. You compare how garage door to garage door, like the light to the light. It's their house. This is where they live. Even like when he takes a picture with that guy Dominique the creep, like that picture he took with that guy Dominique in the foyer. It is the foyer. It's the house. It's the house. It truly is the house. You don't know because they're so hateful. They're so hateful. And they get paid for being hateful. And they get paid for being disparaging. And they get paid for making other people see other black people in the bad light. And that's how he makes money. That's why he signed to Turning Point USA because Charlie Kirk is a staunch racist. I don't care what anybody says, right? It's one thing to say, "Oh, we want to help black people see the flaws of the Democratic Party." It's a whole other thing to have an entire channel where every day all you do is say horrible things about African Americans as if white people are they're out here without any they're out here with no flaws. Like white Americans are just so perfect, right? White Americans have their shit so figured out. The white community is so amazing. They're such a standard. They're such a beacon for the rest of America. And we know that's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. You know, like the vast majority of white Americans ain't shit. Okay, like come on now, be so for real, right? Instead of white people focusing on white people and helping their white trash, no, all they want to do is obsess over black people and how they can patronize black people when half their houses is nasty, their hands are dirty, they have yet to cook, yet to clean, yet to fold their clothes, like they live in filth. They live in utter filth. And they're not worried about their filth, but they're always worried about African Americans. Like, don't worry about yourselves. Worry about yourselves. Take care of yourself, right? But that's what Officer Tatum did. And I'm like, you are sick as shit. You are truly sick. Right, and because the vast majority of white people are racist, because the vast majority of white Americans identify as members of the KKK, right? I'm like, if you're not a domestic terrorist, what pleasure would you get out of seeing somebody's house like this? Out of seeing somebody's house being docked? No, that's a little too much. That's a little too much, right? We don't like the boy, but this could go really, really left because there are a lot of people who are mentally ill. There are a lot of people who are mentally ill. So it's like Officer Tatum, he shows the house. He showed the outside the house. He showed the address of the house, the outside the house. There's even a part where he even there's a picture at of the house, the front of the house. He didn't even block the number of the house. Like you can see the house number. He didn't even block that out. Okay. Then he showed the doors. He showed the inside, the bedrooms, like the windows are. Like kind of like, hey, if you want to go in there and do some crazy shit, here's the layout of the house. Here is the layout of the house. And you don't even see a single white person say, okay, that's just a little too much. Right? We don't like the boy. We might want him to go to jail or prison for life, but this is a little too much because there are other people there too. No, because white Americans, by far and by large, are a bunch of terrorists. They identify with the KKK. They want to commit arson. They want to kill children. They want to kill people because they're so self-righteous. Because deep down inside, they're a bunch of ignorant ass people. They're a bunch of ignorant people. But I'm like, this is crazy. Me, Kyle Rittenhouse, I never saw his house. I never saw a single, and he raised millions of dollars, right? Even the one, even Zucker, what's his name? The one who killed Trayvon, right? The one who killed Trayvon also. We never saw the inside of his house. Nobody doxed his house. Nobody doxed his address. Nobody showed you the front of his house, the inside the house. No, it didn't happen for Zimmerman, right? Zimmerman didn't happen for him. Kyle Rittenhouse, he was not doxed. Daniel Penny, he was not doxed, right? The level of hatred they have for Carmelo, a 17-year-old, even if he's in the wrong, they've never made mistakes. Okay? It's like it's so excessive. It is truly, truly excessive. So he makes the video, he shows the house, and he proceeds to lie. Like, oh, they couldn't afford this. Oh, this is the house they just moved into. Oh, they just bought it. Like he shows the inside of the house and he proceeds to lie about what this family he thinks did with the GoFundMe money. The whole time. They've lived there since 2022. If I'm not mistaken, they bought the house from an Indian lady. There is a deed. Like you can see who used to own the house before that. No, he doesn't want to do that. He could have checked his information before he spread it all around. He didn't care to do that. There is a deed. You can see who owned the house. I think they bought their house in like 2022 from some Indian lady when they left Baton Rouge and they moved to Texas, right? Oh, they bought an Escalade once again because he didn't want to check. Did not want to check. Otherwise, Juice like Carmel is they're on my page. Carmelo's pictures that I have, he is standing right next to the Escalade. They've had that car. They've had that car. Carmelo has two cars. He has a Lexus and he has a Jeep Cherokee or a cherry red one. Very, very pretty, right? Just saying all kinds of bullshit. Oh, they bought this car. They bought a Jeep. They bought an Escalade. They moved into a gated community. They moved over here. It's like these are things that they've always had. The only thing that changed was the security, but even that too, I believe that it's the people volunteering, right? I'm like, all they've done is just lie on this child and lie on his family and dox the family and show the inside of their house, right? And I'm like, we know what happened with Dr. King. Dr. King, his house was getting bombed all the time. Malcolm X's house was getting bombed all the time. Like anybody who lives in America, anybody who knows American history, white people like to commit arson. White people love to bomb people's houses. It is not a joke. These white people here, white Americans have bombed churches. White Americans are demonic. Like it's a demonic people. And so for you to know that their base is evil and for you to rile them up like that with false information while you're showing the inside the house, you're showing the address, like Officer Tatum, he's a different kind of demon. He's like, he has a different kind of curse over his life. He has a different kind of curse over his life. And the Lord will handle him. And Archangel Michael will handle this man swiftly. You see, he will handle this man swiftly because this is ridiculous. You have to know white Americans are they believe in violence. It's a violent ass people. So for you to show them things like that and then you give them false information, it's like you are intentionally triggering somebody you know is mentally ill, right? They are all the vast majority of white Americans are mentally ill. At a moment's notice, even without notice, they are capable of acts of terrorism. It's not a joke. It's a dangerous people. It's a dangerous people. And so to make videos where you show the house number, you show the inside the house, you show the neighborhood, and then you proceed to crank it up by saying all kinds of things that are so erroneous that you could have easily verified is diabolical to me. And the fact that even YouTube is allowing this, like YouTube is allowing him to dox people and to put AdSense on those videos, it is utterly crazy. But you talk about a vaccine, they're gonna wake you up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go take some goofy ass training about fucking vaccines. Like, what is up with this app? Like, seriously, what is up with this app? You know what I'm saying? What is up with this app? All they've done is abuse this family. All they have done is abuse this family emotionally, physically, their reputation. All they've done is abuse these people. We haven't even gone to court yet. And I could understand behaving this way if he was found guilty. The evidence proved that it was not self defense and he lied. Right? I can understand after going to court. No, we have yet to go to court. And look how detestable, look at how disgusting these white Americans are. Look at how disgusting they are. Look how disgusting they are. I mean, it's so disgusting. It is so disgusting. And it's so disgusting to me. So I was really, really triggered. That's why I kind of like stay quiet, right? But I'm like, the family, they've been through so much. And the father even had to quit his job. So I don't know what's going on with the money. Nor do I even care, actually. Nor do I care. Because Daniel Penny, he raised 2.3 million. And I know his legal fees did not cost 2.3 million. And never did anybody make all kinds of videos asking Daniel Penny to account for every single penny that he received with his GoFundMe. Okay? What's his name? Pat Rittenhouse also, he raised millions of dollars. And nobody asked this white boy, nobody even made videos asking this white killer to come over here and account for every single dime he received from his GoFundMe. The same thing goes for Zimmerman. Nobody's asking white people after they've been committed, accused of killing, convicted of killing, or freed from killing. Say, okay, well, tell us how much money how much money you spent. We gave you all this money, and how much money did you spend? Nobody does that. But it's always black people who have to be scolded, who have to prove that they're righteous, who have to prove they have integrity. That are okay. Patrice Colored, she stole money. It's fucked up. She shouldn't have done that. But let's not act like the Red Cross that is run by white people don't steal way more money. Okay, let's not act like they're not a bunch of white Americans who started a bunch of non-for-profits, right, for the kids in Haiti. And act like let's not even act like the Clinton Global Foundation is not a money grab and a money scheme. Okay, because that's how the Clintons steal all these money. So many white people have non-for-profits and they steal all kinds of money. They steal all kinds of money. But because Candace also is a self-paying coon, right? She don't apply the same amount of pressure. because she wanted to build her name by exposing that Bella was a fraud. No problem. And we see how that turned out for her ass, doing the very most for these Jews, right? And now they're calling her anti-Semite. They fired her, and now she's Brigitte Macron has a penis. Girl, whatever, right? Girl, whatever, right? But apply the same pressure. But the Red Cross has always stolen millions, if not billions of dollars by now. We were sitting here and we saw what happened in Haiti and how many white Americans started not for profits promising to help these kids in Haiti, and they did not help the kids of Haiti. They didn't help anybody in Haiti. So I'm like, apply the same pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's wrong to steal. I do not support what Patrice did. It's not right. But you see, because like now everybody's being punished because of her, right? That's Patrice colored her stealing the money. Hold her ass accountable. But she don't represent everybody else. If that's the case, then we should also judge every single white person, but what white people do. And most white people commit crimes. So I guess most white folks is criminals. But I don't see how you come from a community full of criminals and then you want to look down on other people for committing the crime that they saw you do first. If everybody learned that you could use non for profits to steal money, people got that from white Americans. Okay? Because white Americans are the ones who put people on that when you don't want to pay taxes, you open a non for profit. You want to steal from people, you start a non for profit. You don't want to pay taxes, you start non for profit. This people learn from them. Okay, they hate the fact that they are trendsetters. Unfortunately, you are. You are trendsetters for bullshit, right? It is what it is, right? Even with bankruptcy, when it was only white people filing for bankruptcies, they never looked down on bankruptcies, and They never looked down on. Do you know how many white people have filed for bankruptcy? Do you know how many white Americans have had to file for bankruptcies before they got to a point where they had that one business that actually took off for them? So many white Americans have filed for bankruptcies, right? But when they do it, there's no stigma attached to it. There's no shame attached to it. Nobody says, "Oh, you have to pay your bills. You need to make sure you pay your bills. You got to pay your debt. Pay your debt. Pay what you owe." Get the fuck out of here. White people only want to be like guardians of righteousness, right? When they can use that to be self-righteous. They themselves do not pay their bills. White people don't pay their bills. White Americans run on the bills. White Americans will run on the tab. They run away from their debt, okay? It's an irresponsible people. Even reparation, that's a debt they have yet to pay. 40 acres and a mule, that's a debt they have yet to pay. The debt from the Civil War, they have yet to pay. The stolen land from Native American people, they have yet to pay. Stolen land from African Americans, they have yet to pay. White Americans are known for not paying their debt. Get the fuck out of here. We even see it with the government, right? They were supposed to make a $9 trillion interest payment on their debt. They haven't made the payment because they're out here distracting people because they don't have the money. They don't have the money, right? Right? America has a $9 trillion payment that's due, right? They don't have the money. So they want to distract you with birthright citizenship, distract people with Zohar Madani, distract people with deported illegals, distract people by bombing Iran when they know damn well they're going to win, right? That's all they do, distract people. But America has a $9 trillion interest payment due June, July. They have yet to pay it because they ain't got shit. Right. And that's how they are. They will take money from you, but when it comes time to pay you, they're gonna start playing stupid games, right? They owe China money. And instead of saying we owe them money, oh, the Chinese hate us, the Chinese stole our jobs. When you were taking money from these people, you didn't degrade these people, right? You had no problem borrowing money from these people. But now that it's time for you to pay them people, now they yellow people, they Wuhan people, they Chinese flu people, they steal the job, they're spies, they're this. This is what they do. White Americans do not like to pay their bills. They ain't shit. Okay? They do not pay their bills. But my point is, like doing bankruptcy in America, it was never a problem. When white people were the only ones to do it, it was never a problem. Now that you are seeing that, hey, a lot of black people now, a lot of Latinos now, they're like, you know what, shit, I filed for bankruptcy. I ain't got to pay the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit the reset button and start over, right? Now they want to be like, oh no, bankruptcy is embarrassing. Bankruptcy has a stigma to it. Bankruptcy, this, oh, shut the fuck up. Trump has 3 bankruptcies and 34 felonies, and he is the president. It's time for regime change, okay? It's time for regime change. So that's what my point is. When they do it, it's cool. When you do it, oh, now it's a whole documentary. It's a whole investigation. No, investigate yourself, you sickos. Investigate yourself with your demented ass mind. Investigate yourself because anything that people do out here, especially trifling ass behavior, scamming ass behavior, violent behavior, promiscuous behavior, people learn that shit from white people because they don't inspire anything good out of people. Okay? They do not, I repeat, they do not inspire anything good out of people. All right? Just like right now, who's on social media being prostitutes and having sex with 1,000 men? It's white women having sex with 100 men in one day, having sex with 1,000 men in one day, having sex with 2,000 men in one day. It's white people. They are the trendsetters. Okay, they are the trendsetters. Exactly. Same thing with college degrees. Exactly. Right. When they were the only ones to get a college degree, like it was ironclad. You don't have a college degree, no job. Right. Same thing with even law school. Y'all know before nobody had to pass the bar. You didn't have to pass the bar. When it was only white people allowed to go to law school, right? When you finished law school, you could just practice law. But once more black people, Latinos, Indians, you name it, like Chinese, once other non-white people started to go to law school and show that they had proficiency and they could really be awesome lawyers, all of a sudden, white people said, oh, you got to pass the bar, you got to pass the bar, right? And I'm sure it's the same thing with the SATs. I am sure it's the same thing with the SATs. Like the SATs were probably put in place, right? Once again, to keep minorities out of certain schools until they realize that these Asian kids are they're just something else, right? Hey, more until they realize that these Asian kids they build different, right? Asian kids are built different. So once they started to realize that Asian kids are built different, they're like, oh, you know what? Now the SAT don't matter no more. The ACT don't matter no more. The GRE don't matter no more because now the Asian kids are just they're too good. They hacked it. They hacked it, right? You understand? This is what they do because I told you, white people are a bunch of sore losers. I would never stop saying it. White Americans are sore losers. White Americans are people who do not play fair. White Americans are a bunch of cheats. They are a bunch of cheats. Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you a story. Then I gotta go be back. I'm gonna do the stairmaster and I'll be back, right? Y'all, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story, right? That's what I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this, right? As a black person, as a person with, you're from here, doesn't matter, but a person with West African ancestry, right? As a black person, listen to me. This is what I tell you all the time. You should never second guess who you are when you're next to white people. Okay? White people, their entire identity is fraud. You need to listen to me. You need to like you seriously need to listen to me. Right? And that's why, even as a black parent, if you have children, even if you're a black grandparent, you should always tell your black child, your black grandchild, you have to be number one in your class. Like, don't you ever allow anybody to deceive you. Don't you ever believe that you're not as smart as white people. No. It can't even be a thing for you. White people, their entire identity is fraudulent. Sometimes, not even sometimes, it's laziness. Do you know what I truly believe? Right? Is that black people stole, white people stole our identity. When they went to Africa to steal people, I think they saw things out there that they were so jealous it turned violent. You know what I'm saying? That's why they burned so many books. They burned so many books. They killed people who knew the history, right? They brought very young people here as slaves. So they didn't bring old people here to be slaves. They brought some very young people here as slaves who couldn't, like, who probably would not remember. You know what I'm saying? But they made sure. I'm like, we are living a case of identity theft. You guys, I'm being serious. Look at this whole thing with Israel and these so-called Jews, y'all. There was a point in time you could even talk about these people, right? But now comfortable exposing these people. And now we are realizing that a vast majority of these people come from Ukraine. Okay. And I told you, I said in the Bible, nobody is called a Jew. I told you this. I said nobody is called a Jew because when you look at the story of Daniel and Meshach and a bad Negro, okay, that's how Pastor John Jenkins called it. He said he said Daniel, Meshach, and a bad Negro instead of a Abednego, right? But I'm saying it just stuck with me, right? When you read the story of Daniel, Meshach, and a bad Negro, right? The Bible clearly says these were Hebrew boys. It does not say Jewish boys. It's not the same, y'all. Right? But once again, I'm telling you, they run on fraud. And the thing about white folks, too, you guys, it's like, it's the nuances of language, right? These people could really have you believe that a Hebrew and a Jew are just like, two sides of the same coins. Like these are just terms that you can just use interchangeably. It's like, no, because a Hebrew is something very specific, right? A Hebrew is these are Abraham people, the Isaac people, the Jacob people. Those people are Hebrew because the Bible clearly describes Daniel and his friends as the Hebrew boys who were thrown into the fiery furnace. Right? And it says the same thing also for Joseph, the Hebrew boy in the house of Potiphar. It does not say a Jewish boy, right? But then you study and you realize that a Jew is simply a person who studies Judaism. It is not a person who's a Hebrew. So anybody who's a student of Judaism is a Jew, but it doesn't automatically imply that you are a Hebrew, right? So a Jew is not automatically a Hebrew. You understand, right? The people are coming from Ukraine. People speak Yiddish. Okay, they're from Ukraine. Their food is Ukrainian food. Because we saw the video. We saw the video, right? You're from Ukraine. You eat Ukrainian food. The man even said, "Oh yeah, you can find this food all over Europe." He never said you can find this food all over the Middle East. Okay, okay, cool. Your food. So you come from Ukraine. Your cuisine is 100% Ukrainian. Your last name is Ukrainian, right? You speak Yiddish, right? When you go and y'all can do it, you can look it up. You can ask Google, you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask DeepSeek, you can ask, is Yiddish a Semitic language? And it will say, no, it is not a Semitic language, it's a European language. So your language is not Semitic. Your food is not Semitic, right? Your last name is not Semitic. All your peoples, your grandpa, your great great grandpa, your all your kinfolk from Ukraine. So how exactly are you a Semite? You see what I'm saying? Right? But you see how, like today, everybody is comfortably discussing these things and they're asking questions because you see that this is a case of identity theft. These people have assumed the identity of Hebrew people when all they truly are students of a form of Judaism, a European form of Judaism, right? But they're not Hebrews. They are not Hebrews, right? I'm like, well, duh. Like your name is Polensky, Swarovski, Dabrowski, Polensky. How exactly are you a Semite? Make it make sense, right? Make it make sense. This is not a Semitic. It's not a Semitic language. But when you go and you look it up between Aramaic and Arabic, these are Semitic language because these people are cousins. Why? Because Abraham begot Ishmael and he also begot Isaac. So it would make sense that cousin will somehow develop like tongues that are, that are familiar, that are connected to each other, right? Just like English is a Germanic language. It makes a lot of sense. We get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're all from Europe, right? But English is a Germanic language, right? So Anglo-Saxons are people. Oh, got hot. My bad. I'm back. Sorry, the phone got hot, you guys. Sorry, I gotta leave the car on, right? What was I gonna say, right? But you see how, like, my point is, right? Everything always gets exposed, right? But you see, once upon a time in this country, like even the world, I feel like most Western countries, like people did not feel comfortable. People did not feel comfortable talking about these Jews. Right? Yeah, the phone got hot, so it just shut down, right? People did not feel comfortable talking about these Jews. And now in 2025, people don't care. People don't care. People are sick and tired. Like, who are you people? Where do you come from? Who are you really? Right? And I feel like you see, that's usurpation. Like that's stealing somebody's identity, right? They stole people's identity so that they could procure to themselves certain immunities, certain rights, certain privileges that honestly they do not deserve, right? That makes sense. So it's like it's the same thing. I really do believe that when these Europeans went to Africa, they saw things that were just so beautiful that, especially, I mean, there's a lot of gold. Because I recall Ghana and stuff like it used to be called the Gold Coast and things of the sorts, right? But even the animals, like the elephants, giraffe, like there's so much beauty in Africa. And I'm like, they saw things and they got triggered. And maybe the white man saw the black man's private part. He also got triggered. And the white woman saw the beauty of black women. But that's a fact though, because in South Africa, The British women, when they came to South Africa, they would write letters about the shape of South African women and how they were very curvaceous. And they say that was the inspiration for the corset, because a lot of these white British men, but the Dutch were already having sex with them, but the British men were also lusting after these South African women because of the way they were built. And, most white women don't have a shape to them, right? So it became a thing. And so as these women would write letters back to England, right? The desire really came to have a curvy shape, and therefore they started creating these corsets and torturing themselves in these corsets so they could have that hourglass shape that they saw in South Africa, right? But I really do believe that, honestly, white people truly know who we are. We don't know who we are, right? And I feel like they know more about us than we know about ourselves. And so that causes, like we operate out of insecurity, confusion, because they took so much from you. And white Americans, like, they always want you to resort to them. Okay, who should I be? How should I think? How should I dress? What should my mindset be? Like, they always want you to put them on a pedestal where you place them as like some kind of moral authority, intellectual authority. Is like, no, they're none of those things. They're a bunch of liars. Their entire identity is built on fraud, right? All of their wealth, full contracts they never honored, broken promises, slavery. Like, they have not built anything righteous, right? And maybe that's why they want to hold on to religion, even though we know they don't read the Bible, right? Because their conscience knows. Like, I think inherently they know we are not a good people, right? We don't deal fairly with people. We don't deal honestly with people. We have a I don't know, like a double forked tongue. Like, they'll say yes and then they'll turn around and say no. They'll promise you something, turn around and not do it. They'll tell you, okay, that's the price, but then they'll put a clause in here somewhere and cheat your ass. Okay, it's not a people that is capable of honest dealings with other human beings. Like, they just can't do it. They just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting here, I'm not here, but I was in the house and I was watching this one documentary. It's an interview really about the white lady who started this brand called Poppy. It's a soda, right? She was like, "Oh, I came up with Poppy because I had gut issues. That she was sick and she had gut issues. And so she was working in her kitchen and mixing apple cider vinegar and certain flavors so that she could resolve her gut issues. But and I guess, like, now the company sold for almost $2 billion to Pepsi, right? But I'm listening to this white girl. I'm like, I know she lying. Okay, I knew she was lying. And so I took her ingredients and I put her ingredients into Deep Seek. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to work for gut health because it's too much sugar. It's too much sugar. Like, you have sugar cane in there. I'm like, where are the probiotics? Where are the prebiotics? Like, where is the healing, sis? Where is the healing? Right. And then she also talks, oh, I had gut health, but she never had gut health issues. She never says specifically what was wrong with your gut. Also, where are the pictures of something being wrong with your gut? Right? Because I'm assuming, like, if a woman truly had gut health issues, y'all, she would have so many pictures or videos of her being bloated. Like, oh my gosh, like, this is how bad I used to be bloated. My bloating was really, really bad. Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Like, she would have receipts of her going to the hospital. She would have receipts of prescription after prescription. She would have videos, like, she would have receipts of her, having a bloated stomach back to back to back to back to back to back to back. No, the white girl shows no receipts. I'm like, nah, she lying. She is absolutely lying. And when I looked at her stuff, I'm like, yeah, I don't buy this. So I took her formulation, I put it into Deep Seek, and it was like, no, this ain't gonna work. I knew it. I knew it. Exactly. It's just sugar with colorful packaging and some false, bogus ass promises about curing gut health. I'm like, no, I don't see it. I really don't see it. But I'm like, and it's sad. It's kind of sad because as soon as I saw her and I heard her talk, I'm like, yeah, this white girl's lying. Because they all do. They all do. Found this other white girl. She was like, yeah, I'm more. She's like she made 100 million. It says, how do you make 100 million? What? Then later on, she made another video and she said that her husband is worth 134 million. So I'm like, is he white woman? So now she's gonna sit here and claim her husband's accomplishment, claim her husband's wealth as her wealth. Like, no, your husband is worth 138 million, and her husband is so much older than her. So okay, I can see that because he's probably like 60, 70, right? So he's had time to build that kind of money. But I'm like, this young woman right there. I mean, she puts lots of makeup, so she looks older. There's no way this white girl is more than 30 years old. Like, yeah, she lying too. Right? They have this other chick over here too. I mean, you asked me, I think it's a trans woman, but what do I know? But they have this other chick here also, Layla Hormozy. Huh? Layla Hormozy. Oh, she talk about, oh, I was worth 100 million by the time I was 28. I'm like, there goes another lying ass white person. Okay. Because then the person says, okay, I finished high school. Okay. I went to college. Okay. So I'm like, most people finish college at the age of 22. But when would you have time to start multiple businesses, sell multiple businesses in a time window of 6 years without like us knowing you on social media and you're already worth 100 million? I'm like, the math is not mathing. So the moment you left college, you started right then on the business. And that was the exact bit, like your first business was the correct business for you. You had time to scale, start the business. You had the right idea, the right implementation, the right systems in place, the right team that you were able to do all of that in 6 years. Oh my lord! It's overwhelming how much they lie. I'm like, how did you make 6 million? How did you make 100 million in less than 6 years? I started multiple businesses by the time I was 28, and I was worth 100 million by the time I was 28. But you told us you went to college, so you probably finished college at 22, 23. So since in less than 5 to 6 years, you were worth 100 million. These people are mentally ill. Like I watch her when I'm on the stairmaster. I'm like, yeah, these people are off. Like they are seriously off. Exactly. Like they are serious. I mean, they lie with so much ease. Like, look at the other girl, like Wizard Liz, also like lied about having the rich boyfriends and the rich boyfriend. Girl, we saw you settle for a Dusty. Okay, we saw you date a Dusty less than 7 months, and you were like 4 months pregnant in a 7-month-old relationship. Okay, that does not give somebody who has a track record of being courted by very wealthy men. Right? If you are the type of woman that has a track record for being courted by nothing but a rich, successful man, right? You're not gonna settle for a Desi on the TikTok who slid in your DM on TikTok and told you you were beautiful. Okay. And that was enough for you to get pregnant. Because if y'all have only been together for 7 months and you were already 4 months pregnant, y'all were having unprotected sex the moment you started this relationship, boo. Okay. Like go sit down somewhere. But Wizard Liz also another liar. So when I see all these girls confused, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I'm like, no, you're the idiot for trusting a white woman. You are the fool. You are beautiful for trusting anything that came out this white girl's mouth because white people lie. Really love to lie. So it's like, no, we're not gonna believe in any of this. Okay? We are not gonna believe in any of this. Right? So I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Like, we're not doing any of it. So I don't know work out you guys, okay? You can watch the video on the replay. It's not that long, right? It's like what, 2 hours, right? But let me work out and I'll be back. But my thing is, in Carmelo we trust, in God we trust. Like, do not let these people get the best of you. You understand? They want so many bad things to happen to Carmelo and these white people, but guess what? It's gonna happen to their kids. It's going to happen to their kids. When you sit there, when all you do is sit here and wish harm on another person, when all you do at your big age, there's so many white people who have yet to file their taxes for the year. There are so many white people who owe back taxes, right? Instead of worrying about the tax returns, filing their taxes and getting on a payment plan with the IRS, okay? No, they want to put all their energy into the 17-year-old boy because he happens to be black and they love to destroy black children. But I tell you this though, anybody who conspires against Carmelo, they're gonna go right back on you. Will go right back on you. You don't understand this. And this is how people attract curses on themselves and they attract curses onto their children and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren. Okay? Like, do not worry about these white folks.
Do not worry about them. All they do is lie. And they lie so much that they want you to start questioning your reality. They want you to start questioning. No, but these black people too, they're a bunch of racists. Your skin can be black, but your inside is full of white supremacy because you don't know who you are. And that's why the great Malcolm X said that the day the Negro becomes intelligent, because you can be born black, but you're intelligent. Okay. But he was like, the day the Negro becomes intelligent, he will start caring about the welfare of his fellow black human being. And this is the day that black people will make great progress, right? There are a lot of people who are black. Unfortunately, there are too many dumb black people, right? And also, and we have a lot of black people too who do not like to do their own research. They don't like to do their own research, right? Because a lot of people, it comes to me, I'm starting to realize that some people gave their support to Carmelo because it was the whites versus the blacks. Okay. So that's why they went into it. So that's not going to be long lasting support. That's it. There were people who were supporting Carmelo because it was a cool thing to do, but they didn't do the work that we did. Whereas, like, we spent over 60 hours, okay, doing lives back to back to back to back, watching videos back to back to back to back to try to understand what truly happened that day because like I was really confused. But we understand that Austin was the aggressor and Austin put his hands on Carmelo, right? And Carmelo told him he didn't want to be touched. He told him multiple times he didn't want to be touched. We even have Hunter saying, yeah, my brother was the first one to touch him. My brother put his hands on him and he threw his book bag into the rain, right? So, you know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when people do not want to do their own research and make sure that they understand what is going on. We have the father of Austin saying that his boys know jujitsu, right? We have the mother of Austin saying that her son was 225 pounds, right? We have the stuff from Carmelo when he got arrested and his weight was 160 pounds. So anybody with some kind of sense would say, why does somebody who weighed 225 put his hands on somebody who weighs 60 pounds? That's such a huge weight difference. Like, it's a 60-pound weight difference. You know what I'm saying? And also, when you look at Austin's body type, right? You look at Austin's body type, you look at Hunter's body type, they do not run track. So, and then nobody's asking, can these big ass gargantuan people even run track? They're too big for track. They're huge as fuck. Right? You look at Carmelo's body, he's very skinny, he's very slender, right? So it's like you can tell that Carmelo, like, yeah, he looks like a track runner because track people are very skinny because they run so damn much. Okay, but Austin, he does not run. Let me look at his little legs. Like, it's like he's so stubby, like he's so big. It's like a mountain, right? So I'm like, that makes no sense to me. So it goes to show that people did not do their research, right? But if you have two twins and the mother is on camera saying my child weighs 225, we can deduce from that both of her sons are 225. So that's 450 pounds against a person that weighs 160 pounds. That's almost a 300-pound difference. How is that okay? Like, seriously, how is that okay? How is any of this okay? Right? And then you learn that there were 40 people plus under the tent. So then you're asking yourself, why did any of these adults separate this foolishness? And why aren't they getting charged for gross neglect? Right? Because how can we have adults under the tent? You guys are there to supervise these kids and you allow this shit to go so far left. Why don't they also get charged for neglect? Like, this is crazy. This is so crazy. But then again, it's America. Exactly. Like, they're so crazy. Oh, first degree murder. It's like first degree murder involves premeditation. You have Hunter yet again on camera saying the kid was just sitting there. We played that video so many times. I know this video by heart now, right? Like, I know this video by heart. You have Hunter saying, "Oh, this kid was sitting there. This kid was sitting there," and we asked him to move. He never said Carmelo was stealing. He never said Carmelo was breaking into our stuff. He never said Carmelo was loud, harassing people. He never said any of these things. Hunter said this kid was sitting there under our tent and he made sure to not mention that it was raining because he knows how fucked up that sounds. You know what I mean? Because my thing is, you cannot even be surprised. These are the same black people who believe that the Democratic Party is a party of good people. They believe that the Democratic Party is a party of angels. It's a party that truly fights for black people. So it's like we have too many ignorant people who have a complexion. You know what I'm saying? They believe that Joe Biden is a good person. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's like they're so brainwashed. They are so brainwashed, and it's like it's so sad. And that's why they're so easy to manipulate like that because they did not do their own research, right? Because like me, I was like, okay, what happened? Because I truly wanted to know why was Carmelo under their tent and why was he not with his team? Because I don't understand this. Like, what's going on? And when I watched, of all people, Officer Coon, Officer Tatum, he was like, "Oh yeah, it was raining." I'm like, "Okay, so that's why he was sitting here because he was trying to await the rain, and he didn't bother anybody. They took issue with him being there. He didn't start nothing with these people." I'm like, "What is the problem?" Yeah, and some of the people, right? I'm like, "What is the problem?" That because they did not do their research. It is really crazy, right? So for anybody to believe that on that day there's only one video, seriously, they're all in cahoots because he was on their side. It's bunch of whites, bunch of white racists. They're all in cahoots. 40 people in America in 2025, and nobody pulled out their phones. There's only one video, and the only video that is there is the video without the audio. There you go. There you go. White people up to their tricks again, right? And even the journalist who went there, he was like, "Yeah, the DA played the video for us, but they only played it one time, and they didn't want to replay the video." I'm like, "But why?" If Carmelo is such a killer, if Carmelo's such a monster, if Carmelo is the kind of kid that just puts cleavers and butcher knives in his bag to go to track meets to stab white people for the sins of slavery, play the video as much, like, just keep replaying the video. Matter of fact, play the video on TV. Play the video, right? If you are so convicted, if you are so sure that this is a slam dunk case, this is an easy first degree murder charge, it was a heinous murder, play the damn video. Play the video. He's like, "Oh, they only let us watch the tape one time. We could not take any videos. We could take notes though, but we could only watch it one time." How can you go take notes if you can only watch it one time? Why can they only watch it one time? Why? Why? You want me to believe that out of 40, so it's like almost like 41, 42 people there, nobody recorded anything. Yeah, right. Exactly, exactly. Like we're like same way they sped up the Cassie Diddy hotel video, right? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you are really deranged, you are just deranged. Like, if Carmelo was the kind of kid full of tattoos, like looking crazy, smoking weed and shit. If Carmelo was the kind of kid in and out of juvie, you know what I mean? Like, broken home, extreme poverty, in and out of juvie, like, like Antonio Brown. I could see Antonio Brown doing shit like that, right? If Carmelo was giving Antonio Brown, I'm like, okay, I kind of see it, right? No, no, you don't just go from you never got in trouble your whole life. You have a 3.7 GPA. You are captain. Like two different teams. That's all. Two different schools, two different teams at your school are trusting you to be captain of your football team and your track team, you have two jobs. So two teams he's a captain of. He has two jobs. He has a 3.7 GPA. He has no criminal record. He's never been in juvie, never been in trouble. Never, ever, ever, ever. He has three younger siblings, but he just woke up that day and decided to be a white people stabber. That does not make sense unless he took something like he took some kind of drug. But I don't know. Like that's not how life goes. Like deranged people, they've always been deranged. Okay? Criminal minded people, they've always been criminal minded people. They get suspended, they put their hands on people, they get into fights, they do all kinds of crazy shit. We know what a troubled youth looks like. Okay? We know the track record of a troubled youth. Okay? So it's like something is bizarre because why would a young kid for 17 years, he's been a model child, and on that day he just became crazy like that? Something is not adding up. Like something is not like this is just insanity, right? Just like there's something is not adding up. Something must have happened. And most likely, and like I said, he was being bullied. He was being bullied. Exactly. So I'm like, exactly asked if the bully was okay. Also, he asked if Austin was okay. So I'm like, no, that's not how it goes. That's not normal behavior. You don't just go from 17 years of good habits, 17 years of good behavior, 17 years of staying out the way, 17 years of being a leader in your classroom,
football field. You're a leader in the household. And then on one day at 9 o'clock in the morning, like, yeah, fuck my life, fuck my future, fuck my mama, fuck my daddy, fuck everybody. I'm gonna go fuck up my life today. Like, that's not how life works. Unless he's schizophrenic, and that was the day he had his first episode. Most likely he's not schizophrenic. So yeah, something else happened. Right. And instead of saying what could have triggered this good kid to feel like he truly had to defend himself like that, right? And also, like I said, because it was raining, we don't even know if Carmelo actually stabbed him. The boy could have fell on the knife because he was putting 20 on 10 in the rain. Did he even have the proper shoes that day? I don't know. Okay. So who knows? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm telling you, it really could have. Like, like, it's all around bleachers with 40 people. 40 people. So how do we know for a fact that he didn't fall on the knife? He could have fallen on the knife. Right, like I said, because you came in late. But even I said, even for the police officer, because if I was his lawyer, I would even say this because when he started saying, "Oh, I did it," did you tell him to shut up because you had not read him his Miranda rights yet? Did you read him his Miranda rights and then he started talking, or was he in such a panic and out of state mode that he just started talking and you never once said, "Be quiet," because I have not read you your Miranda rights? Right? It's a lot of questions. But what they want to do, what the racists want to do, and the raccoons that follow their stitch want to do, is to get us distracted about this GoFundMe money because Carmelo asked for a public defender. I'm like, no, I do not follow racists. And I don't follow the nasty stench of white racists because they're trash to me. They are intellectually inferior to me. I think for myself. A white person can never tell me how to think. A white person can never influence my thinking. Like, it will never happen. I don't have respect for these people. I don't have admiration for these people because it's a fraudulent people to me. It's a hateful people to me, right? So I will never allow any white person to influence my thinking. I don't trust these people because to me, the vast majority of white people are a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of fraudsters. They're a bunch of liars. I don't trust these people. I don't trust these people. The mere fact that not once has any of these white people said, okay, but how does Carmelo feel? How did that make Carmelo feel? No, they don't care about his feelings, right? But imagine you push a white man in the rain. Imagine you push a white child in the rain. They're gonna lose their shit, right? They're gonna lose their shit. That's how you know these people are inhumane. They're a special breed. They might even be Nephilims, like the fallen angels when they had babies with humans. That might be what made white people because I don't know how they're built. It's like these people don't have empathy. They have no empathy. And as soon as if they see yours, they don't like your skin color, they don't like your gender, they don't like your religion. It's so impossible for white people to practice any empathy for you. White Americans are collectively racist. They're collectively racist. They're downtrodden people. And it's not a good people, right? Because anybody with any kind of civility, anybody that is well raised would have said, okay, but was Carmelo doing something under the tent? No, oh, he shouldn't be here. How do you know that? Have you even read the rules of the stadium? Right? Have they read the policy of the stadium? Even at the track meet, does the track meet say anything specific about no other child can seek shelter under a different tent? Right? You will swear these white Americans were not even raised here, right? Isn't that the same white Americans who do tailgate parties every Friday or every Saturday, every Sunday for football? And they start talking to random people. They walk over to random people. They exchange beer with random people, right? People that have a football culture, people that have a tailgate culture. Now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. I went to school here. Everybody for the back man, if you're white American, you should go to school here, right? Like, it's so foreign to have kids from different schools talk to other kids. It is so foreign to from one school go to a different school tent. It is never a big deal. But white people will make it a big deal because white people don't know how to share. White people don't know how to coexist with people. White people are not peaceful people overall. That's the real problem here. Because if anybody would have said, was Carmelo doing anything wrong? You know what I'm saying? Is that against the school policy for Carmelo to sit under that tent? No, they're not going to talk about that, right? Is that even against the stadium policy for Carmelo to seek refuge in the tent, right? Principal of that school had been there, would he have taken issue with Carmelo sitting under the tent to await the rain? I think the answer is no and no and no. So then who the fuck arrested and Hunter Metcalf to take issue with another student seeking refuge under their tent if he's not committing any crime? I am still confused. But then again, why am I even confused though? I'm talking about white people. They're a bunch of savages. They are so unsophisticated. Like they're so uncivilized. And what was he stealing, Kelly? What was he stealing? What was he stealing from you poor whites? What the fuck was he stealing? Please tell us. Tell us with your racist ass. Tell us what he was stealing. And you see how they are. You see how despicable they are, right? But these are the same people who steal all the time. These are the same white women who steal tampons at Walmart and stuff their underwears. These are the same kind of white women who steal bras from Walmart. They go into the dressing room and put them clothes on and run outside. These are the same kind of white women who steal from self checkout. These are the same kind of white women who steal from welfare. They steal. Okay, whatever he could find. So you don't even know what he. You see, you're just saying things to say things. Like I mean, like it must. I don't know. It's a sad thing, Kelly, huh? To be white in America and to be this mediocre. You could have been so much more than this, boo. Like when you think about all the evil shit your ancestors went through to make sure that you would have a head start over us black people, and all you are is a pathetic ass, disgusting ass line jar of disgusting mayo on YouTube. What you said? What you said was a what crime, bitch? We're asking you what crime, right? Like, look at this. And on top of that, too, you are illiterate. You are an illiterate white woman. So most likely you're an opioid fiend. Most likely you take fentanyl. Most likely you do meth. Most yeah, still that's all you got. You were stealing. We were stealing what, Kelly? What was he stealing? Please, of all the police officers. You, oh God, I don't care what the fuck you are. Some of y'all think you're a woman anyways. You might be a trans man. What do I know? Many of you white people are like you're so deranged. Okay, body dysphoria, it runs in your bloodline. So you're a man, you're a woman, who the fuck cares? I cannot attest to any of this. Okay, I told you, I don't know if you've been here for a long time. I don't trust white people. So whatever the fuck you are, at the end of the day, you are a white entity. And at the end of the day, you're a lying ass white person. Oh, whatever. Hold on. Whatever he could find, stink ass. No, bitch ass. That's your bitch ass. What did he steal with your stinking ass, white, gaping ass, dirty ass, white Apache ass, right? Ask your ass to answer the question with your dumb ass. And you have yet to answer the question, whatever he can find, whatever he can find. Bitch, that sounds like what you do. You crackhead, you meth head, right? You opioid fiend, right? You steal whatever you can find on the extra line, right? In your trailer park with your dumb ass, right? Be specific. We asked you a specific question. What did he steal? I don't care what the fuck you do. Who the fuck is Shiloh? Who is Shiloh? Okay, who the fuck is Shiloh? The Carmelo, that's how you see this. I can tell y'all this. I tell y'all this all the time. I said the vast majority of white Americans are mediocre. Here you go, right? Carmelo, this whole incident. Hold on. Oh, my phone's gonna die. You guys, I gotta go. My phone's gonna die. The entire incident has over 5 police reports. Because if you remember correctly, the first police officer, the one that Carmelo talked to, he has a Latino name. Like it sounds Mexican, right? That's the first officer. Then there's a woman. I think there's like 1 or 2 women. There's also a black cop. But ultimately, right? Ultimately, there's like 5. I know there's like 5 police reports, right? Because we read them because Dispelling had them all. So we read them with Dispelling. But I'm like, 5 police report. You guys, when we read the police report, where in the police report does it say Carmelo was stealing? Where in the police report does it say Carmelo was had property from either Hunter or Austin, right? We watch also Hunter Metcalf on TV, right? Hunter did an interview with his mama, right? Even Hunter himself never said Carmelo was stealing. Like you're not even there. The twin who is alive was there because he's the one. No, you don't know shit because that's what you do, Kelly. You are a thief because we know you're an opioid fiend, right? We know you do fentanyl. We know you're a meth head. We know you've been smoking. We know you've been smoking weed since you were like 5 years old because your mama didn't watch you. Okay, we know. Okay, yes, yes, right. We know. We You're mentally ill, right? Because the brother who was there never once said Carmelo stole. 5 police reports from 5 different police officers. Nobody ever said he stole, right? But that's the mind of a sick racist. And that's why I said, I don't know how long you've been in my life. That's why I told my people to stay away from y'all. Because y'all will make shit up. You're mentally ill, Kelly. You see what I'm saying? You represent the kind of white people I talk about, right? In the absence, he admitted to killing. And so what? Kyle Rittenhouse killed on camera. Hello, are you here? You live in America? Daniel Penny killed on camera, right? George Zimmerman killed. What is your point? Right? White Americans have killed over 11 million Native Americans. They never had to answer for their crimes. right? Millions, at least hundreds of thousands of white Americans have killed and lynched African Americans. They've never had to answer for their crimes. What is your point when you mention killing? We know for you, white people, that's an afternoon sport, right? That's a little night horse walk or something like that, right? Exactly. So killing. If you people don't build anything you have off of killing, right? And if it's not you white Americans sending bombs to Israel to kill these children in Gaza, right? So but mess me with that bullshit. You don't fuck about killing. Killing is what you do. Killing is what you do. Killing is what makes you white. Okay? Killing is what makes you white. Why are you not killing people? Seriously, why are you not killing people? Who have you not killed? That's the question. Don't miss me with that bullshit, Kelly. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the bullshit. You came in here and you said Carmelo stole. We asked you a specific question. We said, Kelly, what did he steal? You said, oh, he stole whatever. No. You can't just say that. It's not some American. It's not some white American shit where y'all just came and stole everything. You stole the land. You stole the people. Stole the culture. Stole the food. Right? No. You didn't tell us that he's not going to go to no damn prison. You, Kelly, will go to prison. But if you lie like this, if you are capable of lying on a stranger like this, if you are capable of lying in public like this, I can only imagine how you act in your private life. You have no integrity, right? So I know for a fact you're going to prison. You are going to prison, Kelly, right? And you have everything required to go to prison, right? Moral turpitude. You are lying ass human being. If you are even a human, right? Mr. He, she, he, right? You have what it takes to go to prison. You're a liar. You say things that are untrue, right? And you say it in front of people, right? So imagine how you live your life. You're not a person of integrity, right? He was looking for an EBT card. So you're saying that. So you think, and you think you're being funny, right? But what you're doing is you're actually shading these white people because the entire Memorial High School team is a bunch of white folks. So if you're saying that Carmelo was looking for EBT cards amongst a group of white people, so you're saying white people take welfare then, right? So all these white kids is being raised on welfare. You see what I'm trying to say? Right? You see, because you're so damn stupid. You could have been great, Kelly. I'm telling you, your ancestor did everything in their power for you to be great, but you dumb as fuck. Should have left your ass in England, right? Should have left your ass to rot in England. Yeah, maybe he was stealing EBT cards, right? So he was stealing EBT cards from white people. So now you're confessing that white people take welfare. And the vast majority of these white players are coming from a single white mother household with a big back bitch raising savages. Right? Is that it? Right? There you go. There you go. Exactly. So that maybe that's why. So maybe that's so I see. I can see why he believed that Austin had an EBT card because they haven't had their daddy in their life since they were 4 years old. He was looking for shoes. Whoa, what shoes? What shoes was he looking for? What shoes was he looking for? No, he really is dumb. What shoes was he looking for? And that just shows that you even know who he is. He works at Foot Locker. So he didn't steal from Foot Locker, right? Carmelo works at Foot Locker. You see, if you racist white people were not so busy being racist, and you actually moved out of honesty and integrity, and you actually moved as Americans, people who stand by the Constitution, you would have done your research on Carmelo. Carmelo works at Foot Locker. They have all the drops. They have all the J's, the Nikes, I mean, you name it, the Yeezys. Like he works at Foot Locker. They have all the drops. The shoes are clean, brand new from the factory, right? So no, it's not. I don't know what it is. If it's your country, it's your whatever. But y'all make it a shithole anyway. So I don't know. You can claim it because who else could have created something so racist and so disgusting? White people. So yeah, claim that shit. Claim that shit. Corrupt ass nation. Where only a few minority, a tiny minority of whites get rich while everybody else gets poor, right? Your country, yeah, they're about to send your goofy ass to Iran and get slaughtered, bitch. Okay, my country, a country ran by corrupt people, a country ran by corrupt ass people who forsake you white folks in the Midwest and leave y'all to die and become all kinds of opioid fiend. Go to sleep, Kelly. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Okay, you sound stupid. Exactly, you sound so damn stupid. Lonnie said, Kelly, your country being sold to China. More say Carmelo drives a Lexus Energy. Like, look, he's so damn stupid. He's so damn stupid. He is really stupid. He's gonna get raped in jail. Oh, jail. Why is it that white men are so obsessed with anal sex like that, Kelly? Do you have ideations? You want a man in your butthole? Is that what it is? Right? Is that what it is, Kelly? Right? Is that what you want? Does your mind go there? That's where you Romans, you people and your descendants from Rome. Is that what you want, Kelly? right? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Does your mind go there? So first he stole. First, then he stole whatever he could find. Then he stole EBT cards. Then he stole shoes. Now he's gonna be something, something in jail. No, you. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen to you, Kelly, because you want to be touched. Were you touched as a child, Kelly? Did your daddy touch you, or your drunk ass uncles in the trailer touch you? Right? Since like, at what age did you start noticing that your butthole was loose? Huh? At what age, Kelly? What age did you notice that you could not you couldn't contain your bowel movement and you could just shit on yourself? How old were you? Okay, nobody's going to jail, Kelly. You're going to jail, boo boo. You're the one going to jail. And all that prostate massage massaging you want is going to happen to your ass. Okay, it will happen to your ass, Kelly. You were about 4 when you realized that you couldn't hold your stool. There you go. That's what happens. Raised in the trailer with them drunk ass white people, them drunk ass uncles, and your mom didn't protect you. Right? So now you want that for other people, right? I can always tell when a man has been touched as a child because that's the first thing he wants for other people. What does your mind even go there? I know, oh, he's gonna, no, you're gonna get raped, and you've already been raped, right? So we feel sorry for you, boo. Okay, yeah, that's like this is the first thing their mind goes to. Like somebody's gonna be like, they always go for that weird stuff. It's like, what? Babies in about what are you even talking about? Kelly, go sit your goofy ass somewhere, child. Go sit your goofy ass somewhere. Okay, go sit your goofy ass somewhere, Kelly. Okay, you's a lying ass piece of shit that can't even hold the stool. Since you were 4 years old, you realize that when you fart, the entire world go dark. Your bitch ass. Huh? Mama didn't even protect your ass. Too busy smoking crack. In the trailer. Mama didn't protect your ass. Since you were 4 years old, Kelly, when you fart, you can blow out a candle. Now, rectum as loose as fuck. Hmm? Since you were 4 years old. Kelly, I feel sorry for you. Because white America should have protected you better. White lives matter. I keep saying this, Kelly. Before you were here, I even said that. I said, oh, white children deserve better. White children, okay? White children deserve better, okay? Did I miss? No, actually, I was full because I have my husband, my father-in-law, my daddy, my brothers. You could never relate. And guess what? Guess what, Kelly? That's actually my biological dad. I don't have to look at all them crazy ass white folks. Oh, that my dad, that my daddy. No, boo boo. No, Kelly. Okay? No, Kelly. With your loose ass, with your loose rectum. Okay. Don't be typing too hard now because I know it's hard. You type it hard and you got to squeeze your butthole. That's too much. That's too much stress. White people deserve better. You deserve a life of ease. Okay. Release the keyboard and focus on your rectum. Okay. Release the keyboard, Kelly. I don't have a dad. Baby, I don't have a dad like your dad, an alcoholic, a dumbass, poor, busted, and disgusted. Okay. I sure don't. I sure don't. I have a dad that you wish for. Okay. Thing you ever had a white dad was Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas. And I'm sure he never stopped at your ass. Okay? Sure, he had never stopped all the years you've been born. I'm sure Saint Nicholas never stopped at your dirty ass trailer. That's why you're mad. Don't know your daddy. Been abused by some drunk ass, nasty breath white man. And St. Nicholas never stop at your ass, bitch. Okay? Your big ass age. All right? St. Nicholas, when are you coming to my house? The motherfucker said, never, bitch. Your house stink, bitch. Because your mother is an EBT, bitch. Let me find out. Kelly, let me not make you cry. I know you're white and you're a terrorist, okay? Probably, probably rubbing up a noose as we speak. If this white man could lynch me, he probably was. Lord have the mercy. Okay. Kelly, shut the fuck up. You're so damn stupid. But you're good entertainment though. You guys, I gotta go. The phone is going to die. He kept my workout in. Said Nicholas said never. 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 You see, and Saint Nick knew you wasn't about shit. He knew one day you gonna come in my life and lie. That's why he never came to your house. You never had a Christmas, bitch. Okay, never had a Christmas your entire life because you ain't shit, Kelly. You ain't shit. You could have been a better white man. You could have been a better white man now, but you chose to be a trailer trash cockroach. You rat from the trailer. You gutter rat. Okay. Anyways, y'all, love y'all so much, and I'll be back later. Watch the video on replay. Let me go to the Stairmaster.